We are back for more building and chatting on episode 39 of the Quarantine Cast here on Beyond the Brick. I'm Joshua Hanlon, back with Bricks O'Brien, Vision Bricks, and we've got Dan from Between the Bricks, so let's launch on into it. And as you can tell, Brian is very excited for the stream today. He's got his party clothes on, or at least something like that. I'm not sure exactly what closet that shirt came out of, Brian.
I raided the wardrobe of the nearest theater, and now we're here. No, I had this shirt on due to a thing that we participated in. Me and Dan of Between the Bricks participated in, and we'll elaborate on that in a second. And it's also cold outside. So instead of just wearing a black t-shirt and looking very sad about life, I figure the pineapple shirt and beanie combo makes me look at like a customized character from GTA Vice City. So that's where I'm at right now.
It's the vibes you're giving off. That's good to know. I'm glad that's what you're bringing to the stream today.
Yes, thank you.
Dan, what does the gray sweatshirt represent for you?
It's cold. It's like 7 o'clock in the morning here. It's middle of our summertime, but it's still cold. So it's the first hoodie that I could find down here in the dark. So
there you go. Okay. That's really all the reason you need for it, right there.
Yeah, pretty much.
Vision repping Captain America, so that's on brand for you.
Yeah, certain thing I'm going to be building today.
Hey, Kirk, you got a lot of Marvel stuff around near you there. Why is that time?
Okay, so here's the thing. It kind of flows with what I'm going to be building today, but also was because I had time this weekend to put up my other posters and stuff, so my room looks much better than it used to.
Kirk, there's your segue to show the people what you're doing.
I'm about to. It's right here. I'm going to be building this wonderful set right here, the Spider-Man layer. So that's going to be fun. And then I'm also going to be building this 4+ set. So,
now that's the hotness. That's what I'm talking about.
So I'll be starting with this first. And then
that's what all the Instagram kids are talking about, that set right the 4+
set. Oh, boy.
Oh, look at Kirk getting the in-demand sets right here.
Oh, boy.
Man, I had the same idea.
Oh.
Man, you're just copying me now.
Oh, dang it. Okay. That's not. Darn it.
Well, you're interesting now.
You always, on your ones, you always have a sticker that covers this, eh?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. The ones that we get, we never have them.
This is actually the first time I've ever seen a set without the piece count, so this is very interesting. I actually think it kind of makes the box look a bit, I guess, cleaner.
The Ghostbusters set you got should have had no piece count.
No, it had piece count on there if I remember correctly.
Oh, that's weird. Normally, when they send them for review like that, it's the European version with no piece count, so they must not have done that.
Gotcha.
Brickzar said earlier that there's a lack of Beyond the Brick branding here. I have my shirts right here, Brickzar. Okay, yeah, there it is. See, hey, don't get it. Where's the logo? You see it? Don't get it twisted. All right, there's that. I'm gonna put that right in front of your face. All right. There's also this one. So in case anyone out there, it's like there's no BTB branding. Here you go. All right, that's for you, Brickstar. That's for you. That's a whole screen, just like this. You ready, chat?
No, I don't know if they're ready, but I'm not.
Oh God. Oh boy.
Speaking of lack of BTB branding, here's David Jew joining us to build the Porsche. How's it going, David?
It's going well. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing great. So David is a friend of mine, a longtime fan of Beyond the Brick, and a big Lego fan. Actually, a friend that I met through Corey, who built the piano on the stream with us, if you guys remember him. So he introduced me to David, and David is super into cars specifically. So when the Porsche became available, I knew this would be a good build for you. So before we continue on here, David, why don't you give people like a quick intro to yourself and what you do, and then you can start building.
Oh, okay. Well, first of all, I'll say, looking at your guys' backgrounds, you have a much more impressive Lego representation behind you. Mine is very paltry by comparison. But my name is David Jew. I am a mechanical engineer by degree, a technical engineer by trade. I work in manufacturing, and I deal with large production equipment. I'm a fan of cars, as Josh has mentioned, and I enjoy driving on them and working on them. And I'm very excited to now put together a Porsche 911, since it'll probably be a while since before I'm able to afford a real one. So this will have to do until then.
There you go. It's a great looking box. So yeah, you can just start building, and we'll come back to you every once in a while for thoughts on the build. You can chime in if there's ever anything interesting as the build process goes along. But also feel free to join in on the conversation here on the rest of the stream. Brian and everyone else has some great topics prepared for us. So feel free, if you have any thoughts, David, to chime in.
Well, I think there are far more entertaining people on stream, so I'll have good etiquette and I will flip my mic up.
Oh, you're gonna be fine. Don't worry.
No, you're good. Yeah,
we like to talk a lot, but it's all about just making yourself feel comfortable, feel known, and meow it out.
Oh, Brian,
Just trying to get people ready. You know what I mean, Joshua?
Yeah.
Just, listen, we're 39 episodes into this madness. There's only so much you can do to keep the sanity. You know what I mean, man?
That's true. Shout out to the Beyond the Brick pickleball mug here. If we can get what happened to the shot? There we go. There's the shot. Here we go. We got the Kevin Hinkle designed Beyond the Brick pickleball minifigure. Played in a tournament this weekend with Timmy. Lot of fun.
And that'll go absolutely fantastic with your very own Brixo Brew. Ladies and gentlemen, the coffee.exe. Get the Brixo Brew right here, everybody. Sip on that Guatemalan blend with the chocolate and butterscotch flavors mixed in. Works perfect as a cold brew. Go and check that out on BrixO'Brien.com.
Wow. Always be repping.
Wow.
Hi, April.
Hi, Brian.
Oh, boy.
You just came in right in the middle of his advertisement there. Jeez.
I know, right?
Okay. Yeah. So the reason why, the reason why Dan and April are here, because they're decent, but also because we were the three of us were involved in the Lego Vidiyo awards thing. Also, getting the product a little bit early, having impressions on it, and seeing what it's all about on both the app as well as the set side of things. And we'll see what it actually is all about, in case you haven't seen any other things about it across the internet. I received a box full of things. It's a turquoise box. I believe Dan and April, you received the same exact thing, right?
Yep.
Okay. So it's this box right here. Included were two beat boxes and two minifigures that were blind boxes as well, smaller blind boxes. They are all opened and everything. So I do have the packaging though. So the beat boxes look like this. This is a $20 set that you're going to be able to buy, I believe, on March 1st. If John wants to pull up, there's like a press release, but there's also probably articles out there about each and every single character and all the minifigure blind boxes and stuff. But there's boxes that size, as well as boxes that are this size for the minifigures. Okay. And you might be like, Mr. O'Brien, those aren't like packs of like collectible minifigures like normal. I'm fully aware. These are boxes. You cannot feel these. Okay. These are the same price as for collectible minifigures. They include three printed tiles, as well as a minifigure. Totally random. I don't know what the cases of these will look like, but there they are. And the other one of the boxes that I received, and I'm sure Dan and April can talk about what they received, but I received that guy as well. So the Party Llama and the Alien DJ, along with two of those blind boxes. So there's an app that goes along with it, which allows you to make your own music videos, which we all have very different, or rather similar opinions on. And I'll show you what minifigures I got first. By far, the best minifigure probably of 2021, unless they come out with Mario or Zelda ones. The ice cream guy. Look at this ice cream guy. He's beautiful. Custom molded head. You have a saxophone with him. This guy looks like he's out of Fortnite with how creative.
The perfect minifigure. I think we've reached peak minifigure design.
No, really, I'm not even joking. I think this is a great looking minifigure overall. All the minifigures in this line are stellar. My second favorite one is the Llama guy, which he comes in the $20 beat box. So he's pretty cool. And then I also got two other ones. There's like a bunny and then the alien. The alien is from the box, but that's the bunny from the blind box right there. Kind of a Ziggy Stardust kind of a vibe. And I'll show the very last one here. Dan and April, which ones do you get similar ones to me? I don't think I've really known for sure what you guys got.
No, I got completely different ones.
What'd you get?
I have the, let's see if I can have cool skills like you now.
There you go.
Candy Mermaid, the Punk Pirate, those are two in the beat boxes. And then my CMFs were the Genie Girl and the Orange Alien.
Cool. So which ones of those were from the boxes?
The Candy Mermaid and the Punk Pirate.
Okay.
In the bigger boxes.
Gotcha. So there's like 6 of those. Dan, which ones did you get?
I got exactly the same as you.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, what about for minifigures? So like the blind boxes.
Fig for fig, mate.
Wow, look at that.
I was waiting for you to have something different so I could go, yes. And I'm just disappointed.
Oh, man. I'm sorry.
I might as well just sit this one out now.
Okay, you can just leave the stream now, Dan.
Yeah, I bring nothing. Bye.
So we ended up participating in a call along with the I think the lead designer of Lego Vidiyo, as well as a gentleman from Universal Music Group, because this is a Universal collaboration where in the app where you make your own music videos, you get to use songs from UMG, which include the artists such as Imagine Dragons, Marshmello, Jonas Brothers, etc. Anyone under Universal is basically fair game. You got to do that, and they had different categories for, whoever makes the best music video wins an award, best album cover, best stage design, and that was on a call for call level. So me and April were in the same call. Dan was in a different one because he's on the other side, upside down. And there was also a global winner as well. So to break the news here for the audience, I got the results in. Me and April both got the result. Actually, we all got the results. But for the Monday session, for the call me and April were involved in, the best creative direction was won by Miss April B.
Whoa! Round of applause. Congratulations.
Best stage art was won by the Mantis himself, Just Too Good.
Oh, shout out to the Mantis.
And the best music video was won by literally the best Lego content creator in the galaxy, Bricks O'Brien. Just saying. Okay.
Look at this lineup, folks. I mean, how can you compete with that?
Me, April, and the Mantis. And you know who was also on the call, Joshua? You know who didn't win? Boone Langston.
What?
I thought we were going to lose.
You heard it. I'm going to say it one more time for the people in the back. I beat Boone Langston.
The only one who could actually sing in the whole line.
Yeah. So, the judges are probably like, you know what? He won. He got like enough accolades. He's fine.
He's got too many trophies at home already.
Yeah, right. He's good. So, no, obviously, much love to everyone. There's no beef with Boone. I don't want any drama start. Boone's a great guy. All right, we talk. He's great. No, but there were a lot of other people on that call too. And it ended up, we got to talk to the designer a little bit. We got to ask a few questions, but a couple questions were not answered, and they got answered during the press release that we got today and a little bit beforehand. So I would love to hear what Dan and April have to think with all of that being said, now that it is something we can talk about and show on camera, because we've had access to this stuff for like a while, but they were like, hey, for a month, you can't talk about it. It's like, okay, show, whatever. But what do you guys think about it?
Well, Unfortunately, I did not get any placings or winnings in my call, so disappointingly.
Boo, rigged. It's all rigged, Dan.
It is. I'll tell you why. Now I'm going to tell you why. I learned something on my call. So I have an iPhone 7 Plus. It's getting on in age now. It's like 4 years old or something or other. It literally didn't function with the app. So I ended up having another call with the app developer yesterday, and they said that the iPhone 7 is the oldest device that they support in the app. Ooh. So if you have an iPhone 7 or older, if you have iPhone 6, it's not supported, period. But if you've got iPhone 7, it's going to struggle with the app straight up. And it struggles at the point where it needs to scan or needs to create the stage. It just requires a lot of memory, and iPhone just doesn't cut it.
So what Dan is saying is get on over there to his Twitch stream, help send him some support to get a new iPhone so that he can make better music videos.
True.
Yeah.
Before we go any further, I want to make sure that we cover this here because you can't ignore Daddy. Thank you, Esh Daddy, for the $20 super chat. LME Toys, building your mind one brick at a time. Welcome on in. Happy Tuesday on this beautiful quarantine cast. Thank you for being here. Make sure, I don't want to forget, we get so enraptured with a conversation here that we got to make sure we pay our dues to Daddy. Okay, so thank you, Esh Daddy, for being here as always. Everyone can almost keep a straight face. We're getting there. We're getting there.
I try so hard. I really do. I really do.
You're the first one to cave. What are you talking about?
I really try. I try.
You got to work on that poker face, Kirk.
Yeah, I do. Really do.
You didn't say his name correctly. Esh Daddy, LME Toys, building your mind one brick at a time. I can say it in my sleep, Deanna. Stop ridiculing me. I know the power of Esh Daddy. Anyways, I'm sorry.
David, I forgot to ask you at the beginning, which of the versions of the Porsche are you building there? Which one did you decide to go with?
I've decided, since I think most people would be interested in building something like the Turbo, I'm going to go for the Targa. That way they don't feel as if some of the experience is robbed from them by watching this.
There you go. Giving the people what they want. I like the color of the bricks you have laid out so far.
I didn't choose them. They came in the set.
Well, that's good to know. They got it. They got the colors right. It's not just a bunch of random stuff. Excellent.
So we can go back to, I think, Dan, were you in the middle of your telling us what you thought?
Yeah, well, so those are obviously, so with the app difficulties, I've had it work a couple of times, and I'm gonna straight off the bat, I'm gonna say that augmented reality, I think, is it's a little bit before its time, especially with mobile devices and older ones that don't function too well. I found the app personally, I found it quite in depth and quite technical, which the target market, being 7 to 10-year-olds, I think might struggle, or maybe they won't because they're more tech savvy than I am. So I'm not really going to comment too much on the app because I haven't had a lot of experience. As far as the boxes, the beat boxes and the character packs go, the beat boxes have some really cool new parts in them, which as a mock builder, I'm sure they're just going to get ripped out of the box. No one's going to download the app, and they're going to use the parts elsewhere in other builds. And I can't wait to see how people utilize some of those pieces, particularly the clear front of the beat boxes. And I'd say that the handle's going to get built into some mocks as well. The stage without the wings out the side, and even those pieces, which are 4x6, I think, with 2 finger hinges and some useful colors, I think will get used. So highlights, takeaways from me, new parts, and definitely the minifigures. The minifigures are cool. Can't wait to see some of those pop up in some mocks and at shows over the next couple of years.
For context, showing what you can do with those straps, this is my stage design right here. So I use them as like overhead lamps sort of a thing for my stage. Okay. So, it's usable. Something like that.
Yeah.
April, what's the verdict?
Well, I mean, going off what Dan said, like I have a current gen phone, and obviously like the app that we were provided was in beta, and they've only just released like the wide release app this morning. But I mean, I even had problems with it during those points where you're scanning in figures and stuff. And even when I was recording video, like it got a little skippy, but I did download the new version of the app and it seemed like it runs a little bit smoother. So hopefully that'll be the case. I think the figs are all great. The app is, you know, maybe fun for the target market. I don't see myself really using the app that much. But my kids played along with it a little bit. She's 8, so like right in that age range that they're going for. She thought it was pretty cool. The only major issue that I have with it is that you have to have at least one of the minifigures and like 3 beat bits with you at any time to be able to like record anything. So it's not like you can have all your stuff scanned in and then, you know, you're just trying to entertain your kid or whatever while you're out somewhere and be able to play without having all the physical stuff with you.
Right.
Seems like
so
kind of a failure.
Well, I mean, so this kind of brings up all the technological things that Lego has done in the past. So they've done some things to launch it forward, but then it kind of takes a step back in a way. Ergo, you know, comparing this directly to Mario, where, you know, you have Mario, you can use the app for the instructions, which is a big part of it. But then also, like, you don't need the app to play the game. You can just start Mario up and boom, there you go. Whereas with this, the instructions are in the box, but you need the app to use it really at all or get any functionality out of it at all. And you can only use the provided figures dock. And the thing is with it too, this came up on our call, at least with me in April, is that you can only use one of each figure in any given scene. So you cannot have 2 ice cream guys, which I believe it was Ash and Flash that got 2 ice cream guys, which provided they're very cool minifigures. This guy's the best one of the bunch, obviously. But the idea of people, you know, getting a bunch of these boxes here and then you can't feel them, which, you know, I could have seen coming a mile away, even COVID aside, just environmental wise. And, you know, every other collectible like this is in a box always, right? So I thought it was a matter of time for Lego, and that's a whole other thing in itself. But because you can't even feel them, you're bound to just get repeats of figures. You can't use 2 of the same figure in one stage to make your music video. And that kind of goes into the app as well, in the sense that you can record a music video for 60 seconds. All right. Is my video choppy? Am I good?
That's a little.
It was a bit choppy earlier.
Earlier was it's not as bad now.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, you're good.
Cool. I don't know. My computer's been whatever. But anyways, you can record a music video for a minute, and then you can also take different segments of it out. And in order to share that with your friends and family via text message or otherwise, you need to submit it to Lego for review to make sure that there are no people in it. They're making it very kid friendly, right? Very, very kid friendly, making sure there's no other adults that are in it that are going to be in the background or whatever. They're really trying to make it work. And like the idea that you're supposed to be able to share these musical clip bits relatively easily and, you know, have a social media aspect to it doesn't work if you have a period where you're not going to be able to share it with people. Like it has very like TikTok sort of vibes to it, with having universal music involved and the bright colors, and it literally looks like it could be on a TikTok and blow up and be a whole big thing. But you can't directly share these things to social media, which is by design because of the music from from Universal. As you know, from being on YouTube, you probably heard some content creator at some point be like, yeah, music on YouTube is a big deal. Copyright claims and infringement, etc. That applies on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, everywhere. So they can't make these clips shareable outside of the sphere of this app because they don't want little Timmy getting a copyright infringement notice from posting his Lego video clip on Twitter. So that's why they're not allowing you to do it. And that kind of defeats the purpose of having the entire social feature in itself. So I'm like, whatever. It's not sustainable. I don't think it works. But I mean, it's a cool software. But that was all of our questions in the call was like, hey, what about like dealing with copyright if we upload these to YouTube? And there's no like protection, at least for us or really probably anyone, of like, oh, you guys are using video, we get it. No, they'll go right after you. They always go right after you. So,
well, the other thing, touching on what you were saying about not being able to have multiple figures in your show, they're touting this whole like collect all the beat bits things. There's 130 of them right now, and there's like the figures themselves come with one that's unique to them, and the rest are all random. And the ones in the bigger boxes have 2 that are unique to that figure. So you're just dealing with a bunch of random things. And if you want to collect them all and you end up buying a bunch of figures, you can't even use them for anything.
right. Oh, hi, Flynn.
Hello. How's it going, everybody?
It's
Going good.
I'm so
Going
glad
well.
I made it here for this part and not the car part, because I'm the worst with cars.
David's still cranking away. You know,
There's a reason I had that sent to David, who I'm sure would be willing to regale us with facts about the Porsche and what he finds interesting with that.
Well, so far all you'll see is the floor pan, so there isn't really much to speak of other than seats go there, shifter goes there.
you can't confirm cars have seats. Awesome. Good to know. There's a couple of questions, I guess, here in the chat. Like Brickstar saying, so you can only make existing songs, nothing original. So this is actually something that was brought up in this call that we all had. So in the app, you can get a rotation of songs from the Universal Library. A couple of them, I think, overlap day to day. But there's, like I said, Imagine Dragons, Marshmello, Jonas Brothers, etc. There's supposed to be available the Lego video theme that you're going to hear in the commercials and the branding and all that. We didn't have access to it during the time of our call. I think it's in there now. Is that a thing, April? I think you told me.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's in there now.
Okay, so you can use it now, but you can't make your own songs. Like you can't import something from Warner Brothers Music or whatever. It's all Universal or that theme, and that's it. Doc, it was saying in the chat, did anyone ask how long they plan on supporting the online portion? Lego is known to walk away from such things. They have made it very low-key clear that there's at least a second wave appearing later this year, which I don't know for sure, obviously. That's all, me assuming, I guess. But assuming that there's a second wave of something, and that's going to be on shelves for at least a year, hopefully. I would say at least a year. And then because you can't have multiple figures that are the same in one setup, then you're going to be having all new figures for every single thing that they come out with, which is good because you're getting a good variety, but you can't use them in the app. So it's, in that way. But what if I wanted to sing? Brickstar, no one wants to hear you sing. No, we're good. We're good on that. We're all set. It's all good. We want to hear Boone Langston sing. That's what we want to hear sing.
That's what the people want right there.
Yes.
I thought your note earlier about the struggle of like making it appropriate for kids and how you do all of that reminded me a lot of the struggle that Lego had with Lego Universe back 10 years ago-ish now, when they had just massive problems because it required so many people spending so much time to make sure that there was nothing like inappropriate on the platform, and making sure that all the tools were in place so that kids couldn't do anything that would be considered bad on in the chat or anything like that. And that was one of the major downsides. One of the things that Lego was obviously pushing the design team, the game design team, super hard on that, but they just said it was like almost impossible to achieve the level that Lego wanted to be able to keep an eye on what everyone was doing in the game at all times.
No. The beauty of being online is that you let people do whatever they're going to do and let the creativity just go. And anything that gets in the way of that is going to inadvertently get in the way of cool things being made. And if you, I thought about this, and this is obviously not Lego strategy because that's not how they're executing on it. But the business side of me is like, all right, here's what you do. You make this available to be posted on TikTok. You send it to the top 5 brand friendly TikTokers. Send them this press kit, send them everything. And then because you can implement the Lego video characters into your music videos in direct partnership with Universal, then that would make for an explosion of popularity. This would fly off the shelves. But then once people learn they can't share their clips immediately because the Lego team has to review every single piece of content, regardless of how much they want to keep it family friendly and everything else, that's a lot of time. That's a lot of manpower. That's a lot of resources. And to make it super popular, to go outside of the Lego realm and have it really click, it's not sustainable. It's not going to happen. It's not happened in the past like it was 10 years ago. And now even more people would be involved in being with the theme and everything else. It's just not sustainable. So I don't understand what even the point of having the music video thing is if you can't share it. And I don't know. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, I'd love to know how many people they've got sitting at desks waiting for this stuff to be uploaded,
right?
to moderate it, because you, from what I understand, you can save it to your device locally, and then from there you can do what you wish, and that was stated in our call. However, before you save it locally, it has to go through moderation. So you're not going to be able to do something untoward and then get it through moderation and then be able to save it locally to be able to distribute it to wherever you want. So
right. And then
Lego have really locked this one down, and I think they probably learned that lesson from their previous mistakes that they've made with things like Lego Worlds and whatnot, because I notice even with this one, you don't even get to choose your band name, as far as like you can't put in whatever you want. So you can't make up some funny acronym using lewd terms or whatever you want. It's all, generic randomized names. And I would say that they've scrutinized that extremely closely. So I would say it's about as safe as it's going to get, but in that safety net, I think they've probably tightened it a little bit too much.
100%. Wholeheartedly agree. It's how do you scale that? How do you scale that effectively and moderate everything? And the fact that you can't save it locally and then have the file, it has to be moderated by the team. And it took a couple of days for us to get our stuff through moderation. And there were like less than, I would say, 1,000 people or even 100 people that had access to this stuff and were posting things. It took a little while. Now, obviously, they'd scale it up once it's now released and everything else. But like how long a kid makes a music video on a Friday and then it gets past moderation by Tuesday or Wednesday, they don't care. It's done. They're on to something else. So why even bother?
Oh. Yeah. They would have forgotten what the music video was by Tuesday.
Right? No, that's entirely true.
It really is. A 7 to 10-year-old, it needs to be moderated literally instantly to keep them engaged. If it's not put up and moderated within 5 minutes and then able to be, saved, and they're able to look at it again and go, hey, look what I did. Mum, look what I did. They're not going to be interested. There's no way in heck they're going to keep them interested if it's not instant.
So I guess the question is then, why does Lego continue to persist in trying to make these types of products when they have to monitor it so closely that it becomes like almost useless to the point where you can't even really use it properly?
I'll tell you the definitive answer, and that is because video games. Because you can go and buy a video game or even get a game that's free to play, like Roblox or something else, and spend upwards of 10 hours a day in a digital landscape with infinite things to do. That's clearly where the attention, which is the most valuable asset that any of these companies are after. It's not money, it's attention. And they're losing it to technology, and they need to find ways to get into technological feats and make it sustainable and make it engaging enough that people keep coming back. Obviously, this is not it, but this is another iteration of what you saw with Hidden Side, with Mario, and now this. And Lego still hasn't nailed it because they're not a video game company. They're not an app developer. They're a toy maker. So they need to somehow find a formula that is engaging, sustainable, and just enjoyable on a way that will outlast any other thing that they've done in the past. And I don't think this is it. I don't think this is what they planned on being it, but this isn't what I think they want to see attention-wise from a lot of 7 to 10-year-olds, which is a very, very key market for them to captivate, especially with them being on social media. I think there was a comment earlier. Someone said, well, I think it was from Sapiens, saying 7 to 10 or 13-year-olds are not on social media. They absolutely are. They shouldn't be, but they absolutely are.
That's the truth.
That's the truth. And that is not going to change. And it's only going to get worse over time, because that's just how it's going to go, unless it changes on a governmental level, but that's a whole other thing. So Lego needs to meet that need by whatever means it is, and it's not this as a foolproof thing.
Well, I think arguably their best foray into all of this like social media stuff has been Lego Life, and even that is a little like
a
little weird. But it does seem like they keep kind of shooting and just missing, right? Like it's, but at the same time, I also heard a lot of kids in my classes and stuff who were super excited about Hidden Side. Like there was an element of, there's always going to be, I think, no matter how poorly a theme or something does, there's always going to be that like hardcore group of people who really appreciates it.
Right, because we have Fabuland and Bionicle people that are around.
That's right.
Ooh.
But I do not lump Fabuland in with Bionicle, my friend. You're in trouble.
Brian, I thought you were supposed to get this out of your system last week.
I'm sorry. Okay, listen, it's all in good fun. And Flynn, you really have your game face on. Okay, like you have a good poker face. I'm like, oh, dude, Flynn's pissed. All right, cool.
Nobody sees that the dad side of me only comes out every once in a while.
Right. I got you.
And if I knew your middle name, I would have called you by all three names.
Well, let's keep that a secret. Keep that there. I don't want any controversies here. I don't want to be called out. But Bionicle X Fabuland, Brian's worst nightmare. I like Fabuland. All right. What Tricky Bricks did with the Fab Max build competition was very interesting and very fun. It gave me a new appreciation for it. So don't worry about that. April, what was your experience with your little bees in the app? Were they hooked? Did they not care after 30 minutes? What was the deal?
So the youngest hasn't really seen it besides what his sister's done, because I don't want him touching my phone, which is another thing, is another thing entirely. Like if you have a $1,200 cell phone, like, do you want your 7-year-old running all over the place? Like all the loading screens and stuff are of like cartoon kids like out at a park saying like, don't shoot other people that are at the park. And it's like, if we're at the park, I'm not giving my 7-year-old my phone,
Well, but you're a responsible adult. There's a lot of other adults out there that give little Declan the iPad and then boom, it's cracked. And then it's a whole big thing.
Maybe so. There are things, at least in the beta version of the app. Okay, I have to be clear about that because I don't know if they fixed all these things completely. But my daughter had a very hard time with scanning in the minifigure and the beat bits to be able to do a show, which you have to like do every time if you want different figures in there. Because everything has to be like lined up just perfectly. The figure has to be lined up with the spot on your screen, and then the beat bits have to be in just the right spot. And sometimes it says it read it, and sometimes it says it didn't. And I think that there are some things, at least within that version of the app, that aren't very friendly to children to try to figure out.
Right.
She said that she'd like to play with it for a little bit, and it's no Minecraft. Sorry, she could spend hours and hours on Minecraft and still not have enough. But this was like she did 3 songs and then was like, all right, I'm gonna go do something else.
Right, and that's entirely what Lego is competing against is Minecraft. That
Right.
is a perfect example. If Minecraft were free, then everyone would be like even more game over than it is right now. The fact that you got to pay $20 is the only barrier to entry. And, you know, with Minecraft, you are paying $20 to get literally infinite hours of entertainment out of it on a local level with just if you played in a survival world compared to even just being on servers with other people. So that's the sort of attention that Lego needs to capture. But, you know, Lego is an inherently more expensive product. It doesn't, you know, have it has infinite possibilities, but not in the same way. And Brickstar made a comment in the chat, who's been having great comments, by the way. Thank you, Brickstar, for contributing to the conversation. Appreciated. Why can't Lego just champion the fact that there are better market alternative than devices? Market it as an alternative to devices. You're seeing that with the adult only things. You know, not adult only, but that sounds very weird. But the adult,
I mean, that's basically what they market it as. I mean,
well, adult only Lego. You're getting into some, you know,
that implies something very different.
Yeah, we're not going there. Not on this YouTube channel. But
find that content over at Bricks O'Brien.
No, that's a scandal. That is a big scandal. No. The moms won't like that one. No.
So okay, I don't know if y'all have talked about this yet or not, but I'm curious, just from a collector standpoint, and as somebody who's like obsessed with printed tiles, what is the kind of like value for money of one of these sets? Like, is the value all in that you can make the video, or for somebody who just wants to have like a kooky minifigure with some really cool printed tiles, like, is it worth? I mean, I thought that the new plastic, like the clear plastic square with the rounded corners piece, looked interesting. Like, and some people will probably do some really cool stuff with that. But I'm just curious, like, you know, when you're talking about like a printed tile as opposed to a sticker, and then a sort of minifigs that quite honestly have some really great parts. Like for somebody who does custom purist minifigs, or does just like to do fun, likes to do fig barfs or whatever, it seems like a really great tool for that kind of stuff.
I place the value in that exact same thing, Flynn, because I'd build mocks as well. So, for whatever you're paying for your minifig box, and, you get in your minifigure, an accessory, 3 tiles, and funnily enough, you also get a bracket, a brick, and a 2x6 plate. That's a lot for the same amount of money. Oh, just did the same thing that Brian did earlier. That's a lot. You're getting a lot for your money, considering it's the same price as a collectible minifigure. And like you said, and you pointed out, those are printed tiles as well. And for your $20 box, I do think that you get a reasonable amount of stuff in here for your $20 box as well, because in the $20 boxes you get 12 tiles. You get there's more than 12. So you get 12 that you can attach to the stage. But you, in fact, April, you might know the number straight offhand, 13, 14, 15, 16. You actually get 16 printed tiles in the in each of the beat boxes, plus all of the other parts, as you pointed out, including the rounded corner plate in various colors.
Right.
So I think that there is decent value for money in just the parts and the figures alone, regardless of the sets. And to be fair, I'll probably pick up the rest of the range just for that purpose, just for the parts. They will make reasonably good parts packs.
Yeah, they make. I was going to say, they look like incredible parts packs. Like those tiles alone, for me, are kind of like worth the price of admission. Like, I love printed tiles, and I love to do decorated rooms with artwork on the wall. And I find that it's very limited in like cool stuff to use for art, like pictures hanging on walls or whatever. And this seems like a great opportunity for that, along with with some cool minifigure parts as well.
Mm-hmm.
Considering you said before, how many is there? 140?
There's 130 right now, but they're planning on more for the second half.
Oh, and
wave.
that new hair piece on the mermaid is so awesome. Oh, I want like 1 million of those hair pieces in different colors. They look so cool.
Yeah.
this is the closest you're gonna get to like a Fabuland modern. Like that is clearly what this vibe is. Like the custom molded animal heads and lots of color. I love these figures. They're great. And yeah, that makes sense that you would like them because it totally has that vibe. Like I think that opens up a good opportunity for like a lot of these figures to exist, just like crazy loony characters and all these tiles being printed. If you have a record store, you got infinite tiles to work with. Like you're good. Any of these could be an album cover. I'm a little bit disappointed that because they have, hooked up with Universal, that they haven't done any Lego-ified Universal album covers, classic or otherwise. I think that's a missed opportunity, but maybe in future waves they'll do something like that, but not as of right now, at least.
Well, it's interesting because I like to do stuff with interesting characters. I did an Alice in Wonderland Tea Party sequence, like little vignette. And I had a really hard time casting. I call it casting. I had a really hard time casting the March Hare because I didn't want to use a minifigure in a costume. Like that's not what I want. Like in the book, I wanted a giant rabbit head. So I ended up using a Fabuland rabbit, and it worked out really well. It looked great. But at the same time, I'd love to see more minifigures of actual like anthropomorphic animals rather than just a person with a costume on.
Right. And that's what you're getting here. You're getting the rabbit, you're getting the llama. And okay, so something they had in our call, which I think we can obviously talk about because it's all it's all up or whatever. What?
Yeah.
Oh, we can? Okay.
Yeah.
Just making sure. They signed this llama to a record deal. Most random thing.
I saw that this morning.
It's true.
I saw the post this morning and I was like, that's odd, but okay.
Well, somebody were like in the call, they're like, everybody, we got a special guest here, and Boone's face lit up. He's like, oh, it's gonna be like, I don't know, someone like crazy.
Jonas Brothers.
Right, and then he sees this giant llama in a suit come out, and he's like, and that is verbatim what all of our expressions were that on the call, verbatim.
Yep.
Which is fine. But
speaking of, the LLAMA single drops on the 19th, if anybody wants to know. It's in collaboration with like Neo and somebody else.
Yeah, I found that so weird. I was like, what? Why though? I don't get it. I don't get it.
Are we going to get a stop motion music video to the Llama song from your channel?
No, I don't do stop motion. I attempted that a long time ago. And
that was a good time to start.
No.
Your response, you were so indifferent. You're like, no.
I don't do that. No. That's not my job. I attempted it when I first started the channel, and it just didn't go well. It was one of those things I was like, okay, I tried it, didn't do too well.
Yeah.
That's it. So, yeah.
I don't think anyone has addressed Joseph Zawada. The most important question right here: can you monetize video? If that's true, I'll join tomorrow. Joseph knows where the action is at.
Absolutely not.
It's interesting. Somebody mentioned this in the chat earlier, is how similar this is, especially with like the animals and stuff, to The Masked Singer. It's which of course preceded Lego Masters on TV when it was on air here in the US. So I find that a kind of an interesting like crossover. I wonder in what way, if any, that had any influence over it.
I'm not sure. How long's The Masked Singer been on? Do you know?
It's been several years now.
Well, they said the designer said that they'd been working on this for over 3 years when we were on that call. So could be
interesting. But I mean, and things do, like designs, and I mean that's why a lot of these things take so long to go through development. It's because they do change along the way. I saw a fascinating talk by one of the Lego designers on the design of Queen Whatever from the Lego Movie 2, and all of the different kind of iterations that they went through all the way up until like not long before they really started seriously making the movie. So who knows what Vidiyo was 3 years ago as compared to what it is like now that it's out.
I think you'll really see this hit the full speed probably in the second wave, whatever that might be. Again, we don't know anything for sure. I wanted to bring up here because Flynn mentioned it with the clear case thing. This doesn't connect to anything. unfortunately.
Oh, bummer.
It kind of, so it connects to what is it here, like this maybe, like not really, kind of, I don't know.
But do you think that we'll get more things, Brian, that have the little teeth like on the bottom piece that it does connect to?
This seems very specialized in a weird way that I don't think so.
Well, it's in that it's the same way as the Friends play cubes and the Ninjago the arcade cabinets.
Yeah.
Right? Like they seem very specialized.
They connect via that way.
Gotcha.
Got it.
But like you can't really use it. Like, I mean, I'm not a creative guy, right? Like this, but like nothing comes to mind immediately where I see that and I'm like, oh, this could be like
I promise you, and like
a way to do something with it, but it's a far stretch. Like
Sure.
it's not designed to work with the physical Lego system. Like,
well, I actually have to say, like when I first saw those the arcade boxes, I was like, what else are you ever going to do with this? And I saw some really great mocks. Like there weren't tons of them, but I saw some really great mocks using them, and I was really impressed that they were able to find. I promise you, in a couple weeks, you'll see there'll be some out there where somebody's found like an incredibly ridiculously amazing way to use those pieces in something.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'd say I think someone's going to use it. They're going to frame around it somehow and use it as like a window that sticks out from a building, and you'll see half of it. You know, probably in behind this line, they'll use that as the attachment point, and you'll see this much of it sticking out from a building or something like that.
It'd be a great like a old school TV screen too if you were able to build around, frame around it.
This piece is pretty specialized too, but even if you take off, those flaps there, this piece, so it's designed for the minifigure to go right there. And then on the very back, there are outward facing like normal studs. So something interesting can happen there.
Yeah.
I don't know what, but that's not for me to come up with because I just review the products, not build the custom stuff. So yeah, it's interesting. It opens the door for interesting pieces and cool looking minifigures, which, people that watch Beyond the Brick typically, are adult fans. So they're going to be interested in those sort of things. They're not going to necessarily care for the app, but that's where this really shines for sure. Objectively, no matter how you feel about video and the technology and whatever else, the minifigures are great and the parts are very usable.
Yeah, for sure. This part here you get two of them in each of the sets as well. And I have white and coral in my other one. I'm not sure what colors they come in other sets. It's
I have
blowing out likewise, but if I could get that to focus better, there we go. You can see it's got studs on two sides and flat in the middle, but it has the finger hinges there, just the same width as some of the other finger hinges as well. So it's going to be a useful part for mock builders, especially if that comes in maybe black.
Right. It only clicks in, by the way, either all the way out like that or like that. It doesn't, stay. Just so you know, that or that.
Yeah, and that's because the receptacle part on here doesn't have all of the notches in it like a traditional finger hinge.
Right. So the parts seem worth the price. Yeah, I would say so. The boxes definitely are. And I don't envy anyone that wants to get a full set and you're wandering around a Target looking for them. You're going to have to finally cave in like the Pokemon card collectors and other box collectors. You're going to have to get a gram scale in Target, which I'm pretty sure some Targets and places won't let you do. No, really, that's how people do it.
What?
There's a difference. Hold on. Okay. There's the difference. Okay, so you get a Pokemon booster pack, right?
Sorry.
It's the truth. It's the truth. Okay.
It's true.
So you take two different booster packs. The ones that have a hollow foil, right? They are slightly, ever so slightly heavier because of the foil on them. So if you measure one box and it's a common one where it's got a garbage card, weigh it against all the other ones, whichever ones are the heavier ones, take them. And then that's how people resell them.
Wait,
I don't do it, but that's how people do it.
The better cards have some kind of extra like foil or something
Foil,
on
yes.
it that makes it heavier.
Yes,
Oh, okay.
ever so slightly heavier. So it's happened to me before where I've gone to Target and like I've gotten like a booster pack because it's on sale because I'm like impulse buy, and then I get all garbage cards. And it's happened multiple times that I buy them directly off the Target shelf because some neckbeard goes in at 8 o'clock in the morning, weighs them on the gram scale, and flips them online.
Speaking of neckbeard,
No,
Wow, this is wow. There we go.
I'm just gonna say.
Go ahead, Flynn.
No, I'm just gonna say when I was a kid, you knew what you were getting. There was a plastic window in front of the box. You could see what was inside of it. There was a label. There was a picture of the toy on the outside of the box. None of this feeling bag nonsense and weighing things on a scale.
it was a simpler time.
Honestly.
So Brian told me today that the embargoes were lifted, and I was like, awesome. So after I got done day trading, I decided to go and check things out. And I got us 5 legal visas to Cuba for you, for Joshua, Jonathan, Kirk, Brian, and myself, so that we can go to Cuba, so that Joshua and John can check out old like war things and the missile war crisis there, right? Brian and I can go have a couple mojitos.
No, listen. I only drink water.
Oh, okay, but and that way, Vision, when he gets captured and gets held for ransom, we'll get him back eventually, minus a kidney and an eye, probably. But look at this. I got all of these wonderful plane tickets to Cuba.
So why
are you going to
why are you
Cuba?
dressed that way? Does that have to do with the trip to Cuba?
Well, see, I was so excited because Brian said embargoes were lifted, and I thought that was a pretty big deal for the United States and the world in general. So, and I was like, man, Cuba, that sounds awesome. So I went down to the embassy, got all of this official paperwork, and here I am. So I had to dress nice.
Well,
that's the embargo we're talking about, right?
David, how's that build coming along, man? How are you?
Is that?
I feel left out because I wish I could go to Cuba and have some mojitos.
You can take my ticket. Take my ticket. That's fine.
All right.
you can
Wait, so that's what the embargo was lifted, right? There was.
Yes, Jeff, it was. Thank you very much for getting this. I'm just disappointed you didn't get me one. Wow. This is like my 3rd week here and everything. Come on, where's the benefits?
All right, 1 second. Let's see, corner video, and Porsche. Oh.
I don't even get a ticket to the land of my people. God, Jeff, thanks.
Oh.
That was for Lego stuff, not Cuba. Huh.
Can you make sure my managed isolation is covered on the way back too?
It's fine!
Jeff, your audio is so loud.
I spent 10 grand on these stupid tickets and these it's fine! Unbelievable!
I'll take his ticket.
Okay, good.
I don't think they're gonna let Jeff into Cuba after that.
We should have let Jeff into anywhere after that.
There's a reason we keep him in Oklahoma away from most of the population of the country.
Hey Jeff, can you lower your audio volume by like?
Yeah, no problem.
You're kind of overblown a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, I apologize. All right, let me
No,
fix that
you're
for
good.
you.
No, the bit was worth it. No, you're good.
Okay, all right.
You're just a little too boisterous for me. Yeah. I'll have whatever Jeff is smoking. That's the Cubanos, baby.
See, the plan was to go to Cuba, secure a good amount of Cuban cigars, and then turn a profit when we all got back.
Oh, like the Pokemon card people.
Yeah, and that's...
Don't forget your gram scale.
The gram scale.
Get away those cigars.
It's not going to happen now.
Hi, Mike is on a high on life right now because Jangbricks.
I'm trying to process what I just joined into.
Oh.
Yeah, like I
best
think
not
it
to
was
ask.
the timing was yeah. Hi guys.
Hey, how's it going?
Mike.
How we doing? Oh boy.
What was that Brian said? Jangbricks made an appearance in your stream?
Mm-hmm. I was there last night.
It did. I'm still shaking. I don't know what happened, but the legendary Jang. I was streaming these guys yesterday, the Harry Potter books, all 4 of them, and Jang shows up, and then he posts my stream on his channel, and then people show up, and things go crazy. So, Jang, if you're watching, thank you. That was amazing. Wow.
You know
That's
what
super
Mike
cool.
did is he ended up blowing up my spot on his stream because he's like, "Hey Jang, do you know Brian has the beef with you? That's like a joke on the quarantine cast." You know,
Jang knew about it beforehand because the chat told him on his stream when you were not
okay,
watching.
but you blew up my spot again, Mike. You did it for like a fourth time. I want this beef to continue. Okay, me and Jang.
The coffee
against
tastes
you.
especially good this morning, Brian.
Good. I'm glad.
We all want the
Wait,
beef.
are you actually mad at me? What?
No, I'm not. What you think I'm mad? No.
I was like, what is happening?
No. If I'm actually mad at you, I hit up your DMs after the fact. Jeff can tell you about that.
Oh dear.
That's where Jeff comes in with a witty response, but he hasn't said anything. Okay, cool.
He's muted you, I think.
I didn't mute you.
Embargoes are lifted, Jeff. Show up in an hour, Jeff. I will. Don't worry. I'm excited about this Cuba thing too, Brian.
I didn't say anything about Cuba.
You said embargoes, and that was the only thing I could think of because we have a trade embargo with Cuba. Get cultured. Learn some things, Brian. It's not all Mario Brothers and Link and Zelda.
Actually, it is because Zelda's 35th anniversary announcements are probably going to be tomorrow. Twitch.tv to watch the Nintendo Direct with me tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Kirk, how's the set coming along?
Jeez. Okay.
Wow.
You see, he shamelessly plugs his stream, and then segues into Kirk. How's the set coming along to make it seem like he's thinking about everyone else? Brian,
You broke down entire Brian's agenda in one sentence,
man.
which is great.
Kirk, what's
Which
going
is
on,
great.
brother?
You're here in Dr. Vision's office now as he analyzes your.
Oh God.
Kirk, how
All
much
right.
am I getting back on my taxes, man? What's the deal?
Hey,
How
Kirk,
much-
like tax season is coming along, very soon. So,
Taxes
are you
coming
busy?
along. No, not at all. So I did finish the 4+ set. I
Didn't think you had it in you. Go ahead.
actually finished it like within a few minutes. It didn't take that long. I mean, that's to be expected. It's 4+, but it's all right.
Can
Maybe
you show
some.
us that Thanos figure a little bit up close. Is that any different
I
or better?
could.
Wait.
It's the same figure from the mech thing. It's not
Oh,
okay.
any different. I don't even know if this is the Iron Man figure is slightly different. I'm not sure about that. It could possibly be. But other than that, I mean, set's all right. Maybe I'm sure like someone younger of age is gonna get a kick out of it. I personally don't. It's like okay.
Which set is it?
The 4. Let me see if I can get the box. The 4+ Iron Man versus Thanos. set.
Oh, right on.
Yeah. So it's all right. But it's not something I'm probably gonna like keep together or anything like that. I'd probably just use it for parts.
It's not going on the shelf next to the Ghostbusters set.
No, the Ghostbuster set is not even on a shelf right now.
Is it
Oh.
in like a security
How?
deposit box at the bank as your
No,
most cherished
it's in my
treasure?
closet
That's
trying its best to.
disappointment number 2, Kirk.
Okay, well here's the thing. If I had the shelf, I would put it on the shelf, and that's what I really want to do.
What you do, you can't put it on top of that black bin above you?
No, that's it's too big for that. This is my sorting container.
What a fair weather fan. What a fair weather fan.
No, hold on, Kirk, you know what you do? Okay, so you find it, you need to put something on top of that bin. Either that robot's got to go on there or Flintstones or something, because the Ghostbusters, that car would look beautiful right where the robot and the Flintstones is. It's got
I
to be
know,
right
but
there.
that's the thing though. If I put the robot thing from the IKEA project, that's already taken up space. The Flintstones I could possibly put up there and remove the 501st Battle Pack.
Yeah. You don't need a 501st Battle Pack in your background. Get it out of here.
I put it there just because. I put it there.
Get it out of here.
Kirk, nobody cares about the IKEA thing. I'm sure they're great products, but nobody cares about
I
them.
care about it. I put my
Pack
time
either.
into that project to get posted on Lego social media,
Oh
and
my
that's
God.
why I'm keeping it together.
Yeah, that's his first project. Leave him alone.
I don't want to take it down. I mean, I could possibly move it over to the side, but I kind of
No,
like
Kirk,
it.
it's
over here.
important. Leave it there.
Yeah, I did the same thing, Kirk. I did the same thing. We built one for that, and
Yeah, I
we
saw
still
it.
have
Can
it
I-
together.
Right.
Can I share something real quick?
Sure.
Something real quick?
Yeah.
Big shout out to my wife. She just sent me this.
What's that?
She's on a mission. She's on a mission in the
Nice.
Lego store right now, and she just picked it up. Yeah. There we go. There we go. It's
familiar.
yes.
I
Whereabouts
saw
are you
the
based,
Thank you, my wife. Big shout out to my lovely wife. She went to the town today with a mission to go to the Lego store and pick up something for her lovely husband. Yes.
Whereabouts are you based, Mike?
How is that Porsche going, David? By the way.
It's going great. I was building something and I had no idea what it was, and I realized it was the beginning mechanism for the, I guess what would be the rear hatch. So you could see, a Porsche is a 2+2, which means it has 2 seats in the front and then 2 seats in the back. So we got these nice rear seats here and
Lower it
tan.
down just a
Ooh,
bit.
I can smell the leather. Very nice. And then we're still going.
That's a proper car enthusiast right there.
Yes.
I can smell the leather.
You can see my carbon fiber wing over here, currently detached from my vehicle,
Oh wow.
so that I don't look like a complete yabo.
I think Mike and David are going to have a couple chats about cars after this. Nice.
But is it
Really question I have to ask you. Do you like Teslas?
I think that they're neat. It's a neat concept. I think that there is some discussion of what the future of automobiles will be and sustainability, but I still prefer driving a gas-powered vehicle. I'm sure if I drove an electric car, I'd be taken back by that like immediate torque and high speed. But
I mean, fair enough. If you've never driven one, I can see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I will say that at least having a sports car, I enjoy kind of a lot of the things that you associated with it, right? Throttle response and the sound of the engine, and
Because you own a Porsche, right?
no. Other than a Lego one, no. I have
Oh, I
no.
thought.
Do you
oh,
have a
okay.
Porsche?
No, like.
Okay,
not-
no.
Maybe
I'm
even some
not balling-
Matchbox or whatever.
I'm not balling yet. No, I have a GT86, so just a little.
Oh, hey, I like this one. Okay,
Yeah.
it's gonna be a car stream right now.
Yeah.
wow?
Nice, Toyota GT86.
Wait, Flynn,
It's a nice
you-
one.
Flynn, you and I got to save this. We can't let it go to car talk. We got to talk about something else.
I know.
So I drive a Mazda.
Like Fabuland.
What, MX-5 or what? What do you have?
No, just a Mazda 3.
Mazda 3
Brian,
is
you
good.
lost it.
Mazda 3s are good.
It's a great car. Come on, it's a great car.
It's a good canyon carver for sure.
Yeah. All right, let's go back to
Guys,
Lego.
none
'Cause
of you have
I
anything.
got some weird stares at my.
CRV though. Okay, none of you have anything.
So what else happened this week in the realm of Lego? Do we have any video? Any final thoughts on video before we cap it, I guess?
It sounds
it-
like it's not going to go well based on what all. of
Is
you
it
guys-
launching today or
March 1st.
March
The app-
1st? Okay.
The app launched today, but the physical product isn't out on shelves till the 1st.
I see. Okay.
Okay.
Well, I'm just, like I said before, I'm excited about it for parts packs, for pieces, and for those printed tiles. But as far as like making videos out of it, and I mean, I don't know, I don't have kids, so like its appeal is limited. But that said, as somebody who likes minifigures and printed tiles, I think it's going to be, I think they'll be fun to grab.
Oh yeah, Brian has those.
If nothing else, for that hairpiece,
This
right,
one's cool.
April? I'm just saying.
But you know what, Flynn? Like, I have 2 girls, right? So technically, I'm in the market for video, technically. But I showed it to them, and they didn't seem that much interested for some reason. So I don't know. I may just like do an experiment and get them a set or 2 and see if they enjoy the whole shtick of video. But like coming from a father of 2 girls, like I don't know if I don't like it. Maybe there's more like me, or.
Well, I mean, and I'm sure this may have been mentioned before, but like Richard and I were talking about it earlier, and he said, well, it seems to just remove the whole building aspect of Lego.
This one's amazing, actually.
Right? Like it removes the whole building aspect. So that's kind of is a huge element to take out of it, I would think.
Yeah.
Mike, how did your kids respond to Lego Mario app-wise? Did they care?
Not at all.
Okay.
Because what I did, I built the starter course, I built the Bowser's Castle, and I gave all to them. And I showed them the app, how look, you can like, build from the app or collect whatever rewards there are. But they were just interested in Mario making sounds.
Sure, and that's fine. That to me re-solidifies how people are taking to Mario in general. It's like the app is whatever, but the technology in Mario is great. Don't got to go over that.
Yeah, I had the same feeling with Hidden Side because I enjoyed the colorfulness, the uniqueness of the sets and the minifigures. I think Hidden Side was a great theme visually, speaking like visually appealing theme. And I know I made some videos for Joshua about the app functionality, and I had fun with it. But it was like a one-time thing. Like I never felt the urge to return to it. Whereas I still enjoyed the sets as they are, right?
I actually think Hidden Side would have been more successful as a theme if it didn't have the AR element.
I 100% agree with that.
They were focusing on the AR heavily, but that was the whole point. They tried to make something new. And we had this whole conversation beforehand on the merchandising part of Hidden Side that people were not getting what the boxes were. I work at the Lego store exactly where that was launching.
Was awful.
And I remember I spent most of my time on the floor when the Hidden Side was hot. I spent a lot of time on the store floor explaining to people what Hidden Side is and what they actually are seeing on the box. So that was like just by that fact I can tell that it was way too complex for a everyday customer.
Well, I think too that it brings back a point that April was making earlier. Is like, I mean, I happen to know a lot of like families who are super techie and their young kids have phones, but like most young kids don't have phones. So that means you're borrowing a parent's phone or a sibling's phone to do, to play your game or whatever.
Yeah.
But I will always advocate for a spooky Lego theme. Like I feel like that needs to be a thing always. But and I agree, like that box art was just dreadful. Like the first time I ever saw it, especially like it's slightly improved as more waves went out. But that because I think they heard people kind of complaining about it. But man, that first wave of box sets, you just look at them and you have no idea what's going on. And I love the whole concept of there being, it's very Stranger Things, right? Of it, like the light side and the dark side, and like the dark side looks like the light side. It's just kind of it's very trashy. It's very Silent Hill, but it just didn't work. I think with the phone thing, overcomplicated it.
Yeah.
If you want, real quick, John, in a second, I'll be sharing my screen just to show what all the other characters are, because there are some spooky figures in here, Flint. I'm sure you saw them.
I haven't. I'm very excited to see them.
World premiere.
So Brian, is that like, because I joined late, is that like a minifigure collectible series you're having?
Yes.
Or okay.
My boxes. I'm sharing my screen right now, John, if you want to toss it up there real quick.
See, I don't have access to the LAN like all you fancy people.
Oh no, I'm not on the LAN either. I'm on Brickset. I'm plebeians.
All right.
Okay, so these are.
Look at that, and that's Bellatrix Lestrange's hairpiece.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Wow, that's cool actually.
Now this tiger guy is pretty cool. This gives me a vibe of like Diddy Kong Racing for some reason.
They come in boxes, so you can feel for them.
If you want to show my screen, John, boxes like that.
Oh snap! So you can tell.
You can't
Feel them. Get the gram scale, Mike.
Oh,
Get
that
the
was
gram scale.
Okay.
my skill just became redundant.
Yes, it did.
Snap!
Wait,
Man.
Do you weigh them when you have the scale? Do you do that in the store? Or do you buy them and take them
Now it's
home?
gonna be the rattle skill. It's like, okay, I know it's just.
So no, the neckbeards show up at Target and they weigh them, or if you can buy them and then return them afterward. But some stores won't even let you return them. Show the my screen again, John. Flynn, you'll like this one. The fox guy over here. Look at this guy.
Oh, nice.
Oh yes, although I must say I'm more attracted to the werewolf. Just
The
below.
werewolf is like
yeah.
monster fighters all over the place.
Yeah,
I
it
really wish I
absolutely
got that
is.
shark guy.
Is that
The
guy?
shark guy's pretty cool.
The last guy has like a Garmadon.
Yeah, it's like a samurai helmet looking thing.
Okay. The shark guy is cool, definitely.
Did
I
anyone
like that.
notice that the shark guy is actually teased in the skate park city set? There's like
really?
a spray painted panel that's like to the side of one of the ramps, and it has the shark guy on it.
Oh,
Oh, interesting.
nice.
I saw that somewhere. Yeah, that's really cool.
And so each of these, no, I might be incorrect because I don't have like the seagull one. But each of the different, no, these come with an exclusive one, right?
Yeah, the seagull one is the shark's exclusive.
Okay. So yeah, each of these have an exclusive one. So this one with
Of
the
course
gong
they
is
do.
exclusive to that guy. I think it's the first one. Whatever you see is exclusive.
Nice. I like the guitar guy. It gives me like Futurama vibes.
Yes,
Like a
totally.
guitar alien from Futurama.
Well, I love that hairpiece with the antenna is really great.
I like this guy a lot. Blue and yellow, obviously.
Yeah, he's got that's a good color
He
palette.
reminds me of there was this cartoon with like a small tiger for the kids. Guys without kids don't know what I'm talking about, but there is a cartoon with like guy looking exactly like that.
See,
Best
I
green figure of all
am
time.
a huge fan of those ghost, the
Yes.
bottom legs, not legs, but those
That's a
smoky
cool
ghost
album cover
bodies.
too for you there, Flynn.
Ooh, yeah.
I
Okay,
think the
well.
bunny molded head is also amazing with
Yeah,
Oh,
it
yeah.
is.
dual molded hair and
Like the figures look really good.
man, I really want those now,
The
man.
cowboy guy is cool there too.
How do I get all
All
of
very
these?
cool. All of them are so cool in their own way. Like, and now I think this is partly why you're seeing smaller overall minifigure series, because you could technically think of this as like a whole new minifigure series. How cool they are, you know?
Yeah. Wow, very cool.
Do you have the picture of the beatbox figs to pull up, Brian?
Yeah, I'm gonna show the Easter egg thing in just a second here. Sorry, I got this loading up.
Oh, I see.
Okay,
that,
so I
actually.
guess
That's
I
awesome.
didn't understand this in the rollout because I've been sort of paying attention to it. So you're telling me that there's the big boxes, right?
Yes.
But there's only and then there's also like blind boxes as well. Okay, got it.
So
Oh,
there's
you
Got it.
got them too. Nice.
the larger ones are 20. The smaller blind ones are 5.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay.
On my screen is where April's talking about the shark guy in the.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Yeah,
look at that.
exactly. That's awesome.
That's
Now
pretty cool.
which came first?
See if I can find the other pictures of the beatboxes here. Yeah, so you can't feel these at all, obviously.
So, what do the bigger boxes offer on top of the small
Right.
box?
Everything
Extra
you see here.
tiles.
Oh, okay.
And
So it's
that
like
little
a,
box
Case.
carrier thing.
Yeah.
oh, so what is like a like a carrying box? What is it?
Yeah.
Yep. The figure fits inside, and then you can put tiles in a little
So
side
my
flap.
question is that mermaid minifigure is only available through this set, so
Correct.
you can get it from the collectibles?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
every single
Oh.
figure in here is
Oh.
exclusively to the set.
Oh,
And
snap. So
because
it's like
you can't
a-
have multiple characters of the same kind in your setting, they're not going to re-include the punk rocker in another set. He's just going to be in that one, and that's it. And then there's going to be more unique figures that way.
That's what you're
Oh,
Yeah.
sneaky Lego to buy
Yeah.
more stuff.
That mohawk hair
That
piece
punk
is
rocker
great.
He's really
Man.
Yeah, Mohawk is great. I
Oh,
love
this
it.
guy is like Daft
Yeah.
Punk. Wow.
Yes, I was just gonna say total Daft Punk.
That's
Yeah.
the minifigs are so freaking awesome.
That's a llama with the record deal.
And what is it with Lego and llamas this last year? It's been like
Oh,
llama.
Oh, is that a unicorn? Oh
everything.
my.
It
Yeah.
reminds me of The Sims. Like, remember The Sims were always big on llamas for some reason, like Sim City and all that. But anyway,
Well, because we got those Friends play cubes that came with the different colored ones, and then we got a couple of Friends sets that were like llama rescue, and now this. That's a weird and interesting trend.
Now that's
really-
that punk one right there.
that's
Yeah.
cool. That is
It's like Cyberpunk meets Daft Punk or something.
So they have an average of 73, 75 pieces each.
How many are
And-
there?
There are 4 or 6, I think.
6.
Six.
Yeah.
Hey, Brian, can I ask you a speculation question? Like, what do you think?
Sure.
Oh, fantastic. So, with all these different molds coming out and all these different wacky characters, and we both know, everybody here knows the Lego response to like war and everything else. But what do you think about Fortnite? Lego 6 becoming an eventuality with all these wacky characters.
Well, it's funny you ask that, Jeff. Who just said no? Dan?
I mean,
let
come
me
on,
tell
we
you
got
why you're wrong.
Overwatch already.
Let me tell you why you're wrong.
I'm not
Okay?
gonna do it. Yep.
Oh,
Because
here we go. Let me tell you why you're wrong.
that's how great discussions always start. Okay?
Do that. I'm gonna grab
Somebody has to be on the opposite to start a discussion.
That's-
That's a given. So.
That's how a condescending conversation starts. But sure, yeah, all right, go ahead. Yeah.
See, Dan's already got the pose of like, Okay. So, Fortnite, as far as I know, has not had a collaboration license with any building block brand. I might be wrong, but I'm certainly thinking that, right? So with that in mind, Fortnite is the only other massive intellectual property that makes sense for them to cover, because for the longest time it was Nintendo, and because they're just doing Super Mario. Plot twist, they know Zelda exists. They're not stupid, right? So they're going to do more eventually. Here's hoping tomorrow with the Nintendo Direct we get some announcements, who you never know. But, the Fortnite is the only other thing that is even remotely close to being the largest thing, because they don't have a building brick thing, because Fortnite has been around for years. I don't think that they've collaborated with anyone else, and it just makes too much sense where you can build the different types of materials and the characters. Literally, like I said, with the ice cream guy, that looks like it could be a Fortnite outfit. And Fortnite, if anything, besides the weapons, it's the characters. It's mostly the characters. Even if they had a collectible minifigure series, then they could make that work. They've done Overwatch, and they started Overwatch when that was the most relevant thing at the time. The second that was announced, I'm like, that's going to bomb, because no kids care about Overwatch. Kids absolutely care about Fortnite. And even if you don't care about Fortnite, you're going to get just as cool, if not even cooler characters like you're seeing with Vidiyo. It makes way too much sense, even if they include no weapons at all and they have just pickaxes and stuff to build with. And like the boogie bombs and whatever else, they can get around it if they really want to. And there's a lot of cartoony weapons that are not just like there are, like, you know, silenced pistols and stuff, but they would absolutely make it work. And I think that's the next big thing one day. I don't know when, but I think one day you'll see it.
I mean, look at Minecraft. Right now, Minecraft sets include skins, right? So it's kind of like, I'm not saying it's like Fortnite, but Minecraft is popular. It's working. It's, you know, good enough for Lego to call non-violent theme of all. But right now, if you see the current Minecraft sets, a lot of these include player skins, which is kind of what Fortnite is doing, right?
Jeff in the chat said Overwatch is coming out with a sequel with a storyline. Expect 20 sets by 2022. But Overwatch was never popular with kids. That's the thing. And
no, I agree. I agree fully with you there. So there's no worry about that. But I also have to. I hate to be poo-poo in your sandbox, but
do you though?
I just did. Well, yeah. I just did a search for Fortnite and products and stuff like that, and it looks like Mega Constructs did a brief building sets for them under their Mega line, which is 4+. I just found it on Amazon.
I'm gonna look it up myself, but I don't.
I think there's some bootleg Fortnite sets as well, because I think I remember Just Too Good doing a review on the bootleg, or it might have been Ash and Flash, I can't remember, but one of those guys did a review on some bootleg Fortnite stuff. You know what, Brian? I think the reason why I say that Fortnite's going to happen, and you said it in your own argument, you answered your own question, and you just provided me with all of the information I needed, and that was just one simple term: it makes too much sense.
Well, but then Mario is here, Dan. You gotta believe. Keep the faith, Dan. Keep the faith. I'm getting my castle. You're not a believer. I'm getting it.
Oh, Jesus. Just build yourself one.
No.
That long title at all.
I want
Joseph.
Justin Ramsden to make me Peach's castle. That's what I
Joseph
want.
says Brian is dressed like a Fortnite character, to be honest, so that explains a lot. So
I'll emote in front of you all
I mean,
want.
the poppy collar, the Hawaiian shirt, come on. I mean, you just need a pickaxe and you can totally motion capture for them.
Listen, I'm sure that Brian won his category on our call because of that shirt. So
Yeah.
that
Hey,
thing with the crazy hair and that shirt.
Brian has a
Whatever,
lot of
thanks.
experience in Lego build contests on those calls, so he knows how to prepare.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no, what's that? It's
I'm
getting
sorry.
worse.
Wait, Boone Langston, who?
Oh, savage.
That's about,
You
that's
need
about how
a
bad it
longer
was.
bird. You need a longer bird.
I do need a longer beard, yes. And I need to actually sing. I can't sing. I can dance, but I can't sing. I loved Flynn's expression right there.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure about the dancing part, but
You
yeah.
haven't seen me dance, Jeff.
This is a good opportunity to get David's thoughts, because I know David is a big Fortnite player and has played a fair amount. So as a more casual Lego fan than maybe some of the other people on the call, David, would you buy Fortnite sets if Lego produced them?
You're outing me here and now, are you? Yes, I do enjoy Fortnite very much. Would I buy a Fortnite set? I mean, I guess it would depend. Like, I don't really like me here and now. Even though I clearly have my little figures, they're more just for posing around, having fun. So I could see that. I mean, I might if the build was interesting enough. Like if they were using, I don't know, like brown tile pieces at interesting angles to replicate the building materials. I think there's a lot of interesting things that can come from that. What I would be interested in seeing is probably stuff that Lego wouldn't do, because Lego doesn't do realistic weapons. So Fortnite heavily features things like a FAMAS or just things that exist in real life, and their policy, as I've been made to understand, is that they don't want to encourage that outside of just like the space themes or the Western themes. So I don't know, maybe yes, maybe no. I guess it would depend. If it had interesting details, then maybe I would do it, because these days I put together things that I think look good on my desk, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but
Welcome
you're
to my
also
world.
an adult and not kids, like collecting. Like it would mostly be for like legit like kids. that
Yeah.
love Fortnite.
Legit children.
not the illegitimate ones. The legitimate ones.
I
think
like Big
you're-
Star Wars Boys comment. Where would these streams be without Brian? Probably like 20,000 views more per stream, but
True. That's true.
honestly,
That's
that's
true.
where we are. We have to like, live with him right now.
Well, yeah. Okay.
It's like
so
this roommate you don't really want to have.
Alex in the chat says blasters. What about blasters? If you put the Star Wars blasters in their hands, call it a day. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
You're fine.
Yeah, but I think that was a good point that Fortnite actually has even cartoonish, but those are real world based guns or weapons, right? Overwatch or Minecraft never do that. Like Overwatch has like made up sci-fi stuff, right?
No,
And-
but Overwatch, the Bastion has a giant Gatling gun on his shoulder. Like
Yeah, but like if you look at Fortnite, like you see like the FAMAS he mentioned, like it's an actual real life gun, and
No, you're
they-
right. And
Yeah,
the
so
thing-
they kind of depict like what you can find in like a gun shop today, right?
Well,
Technically.
Overwatch had McCree, and he had
pistol.
guns as well.
Yeah. But I think Fortnite is much more clear on trying to depict what other games are offering in your like Call of Duty, right? I think it's closer than that, so that might be an issue as well.
Mike, if there's anything that I've learned about the realm of business as a businessman, look at me, okay?
Look at you. This is clearly a business.
Oh.
You selling coffee and color books? Okay, you're a businessman actually. Okay.
And leggings and
And
shout out
leggings.
videos.
Okay, that makes you a CEO of something.
Come on, squad.
CEO of your
There is-
wedding.
If there's anything I've learned, Mike, is that money talks. And anything is possible if they want it to be possible.
That's true. That
No
is
matter
Your
what.
leggings as they're walking along. Mumble,
That is
mumble,
true.
mumble.
So I guess going back to what's possible then, or the logistics of this, how well, I mean, I guess Lego was able to strike a deal with Nintendo, and Nintendo is a famously hard IP to work with. So how, I mean, would you suspect that Epic would be particularly difficult to work with if they were coming down to like a contract negotiation? Or do you think as a businessman that they would be kind of very open and just wanting to get the product on the shelf? Because
That
there's
is a
plenty of
good
companies
point.
willing to
Yeah.
work with Epic. I guess they have the Nerf guns, they have I think McFarlane made toys for them, Jazzware made toys for them. Clearly there's a lot. So how do you think that relationship would work?
That is a good point, actually.
I think it would. Epic loves money. Plot twist. Go figure. No, they like it, and I think you could see a very similar collaboration to what you saw with Overwatch, where there was an entire Overwatch event, but I think you could make it an entire Fortnite season, like what they did with Marvel and all these other different properties before. You have an entire Lego season where you have Lego minifigure versions of the skins that are available as physical products that have product redemption codes in them, available in the minifigure series and in the sets. Literally, Prince money, send me to Denmark. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, Lego doesn't make realistic weapons.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Nope, not at all. Nope, none of these are realistic whatsoever. Nope.
The best
The
one is
only one
little-
that's realistic
little gray
there
revolver.
is the revolver. The other one is a spear gun for fishing, and the other two are laser pistols from 20.
Can you actually? The laser pistol is a machine gun that was from a Red Hood set that came out a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Fortnite needs to work with.
I'm a Lego ambassador. I know things. Okay, Dan.
The spear gun is only for fishing if you have a limited imagination. You can do a lot of damage to a person with that as well.
I think there's a difference between just having a weapon or a representation of a weapon and then being able to point to a specific one.
Yeah.
Right? Because
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
revolvers in Western, that's cool. They're not thinking here's a Smith and Wesson, right? Or they're not thinking here's an FN Scar or here's a Hamas. They're not idolizing the weapon. They're idolizing the concept. I think when you add that level of appreciation or understanding for a specific weapon, I think that's when you're in gray area because a child can then associate to a specific gun, and then all of a sudden there's a level of specificity and an ability to make that connection. And now they could be getting that from anywhere, right? They can play with Call of Duty and still see the same things. But I think Lego, has some right to create that distinction and that separation.
But Lego also has problems with it. Like, look at the Osprey, right? They try to avoid the connection, yet they made it way too late, way too crazy, and it happened, right? So you never know what Lego will think about certain things.
Right.
But Brian, I do have a question because David brought up a cool point. Like Nintendo being this kind of hard to work with IP, right?
Mhm.
Do you think it's, as a big Nintendo guy, do you think it's been changing lately? Because as I remember, like back in the day, Nintendo wasn't even allowing streamers to stream Nintendo games, and now it seems like it's more laid back. So you can play, like you play a lot of Nintendo games on your streams, right? It's not a problem.
Yep.
And they opened up with Lego about the collab, which is like one of their bigger partnerships with a toy company right now, right? Do you think like it's gonna be start a trend from companies like Epic Games or moving forward that we're gonna be seeing more inclusive companies doing that Nintendo just did, that was considered the hard IP to work with?
I think that idea of Nintendo being hard to work with is entirely thrown out the window and irrelevant now, not only because of Lego, but because of their policy changes on YouTube and other platforms about how
So how long ago did it change?
I think you saw that become immediate once you saw them cracking ground on Universal Studios Japan to make an entire theme park based around Nintendo, as well as the new Mario movie coming out potentially next year or the year after. So all of that, I think, can get kind of disregarded now that they're super hard to work with because they clearly understand that, there's money to be made here and it makes sense and it can be done correctly, but under different leadership and different guidelines, and they have to adapt just like every other company too. And yeah, I think Epic is the most flexible of a lot of these other companies, and when it comes to being on different platforms. You can get Fortnite on your phone for free, except on Apple, and a lot of other places as well. And they take pride in having an ecosystem of people being able to play whatever way that they want to play with whoever. And why wouldn't they want to explore every possibility, especially with the esteem that Lego has as a toy brand? It's the number one toy brand in the world. So basically, I don't see why any company isn't knocking on Lego's door to be like, hey, let's do something. Let's figure it out because, y'all got great stuff. We got great stuff. Let's make it happen for anyone.
Well, what's interesting about that, though, is Nintendo has always been known as a sort of family and kid-focused company. And it wasn't until relatively recently in the long scheme of things that they started having more adult-themed games on their systems, right? For a long time, they were very, very standoffish. And I just wonder if, Epic Games as a whole isn't a little too, I don't know. I don't know if adult-oriented is the right word, but just a little too much for Lego to partner with, where Nintendo seems kind of like a better fit.
I mean, Epic has a good relationship with Nintendo. They've worked together on stuff before. I think there can be any any common ground that is established. To me, for like a video game license with Lego, Minecraft makes the absolute most sense. Overwatch makes the absolute least sense. And if they can find a way in the minds of the marketing people in Denmark to be like, all right, Blizzard approached us, we're gonna try this, and we're gonna find a way to make it work, and then that like fails, then why not give that a shot with Fortnite, the legitimate #1 free-to-play game of the decade, well, last decade, whatever. That to me makes too much sense, and they could find a way, some way.
Well, I mean, that's also the thing too. Like in my humble, if not silly opinion, Lego screwed up when they got the Blizzard deal, and they were like, "Here's Overwatch," and it was like, you literally have 2 RTS strategy games that involves building, and you didn't put those out. You gave us Shooty McShooterton.
Well, because that's what's more relevant, but Warcraft is legacy. Diablo is legacy. Like, that would work great as an adult. Like, if they had, I don't know anything about Warcraft or Diablo, but, like, just some sort of, like, bust or buildable figure or just something. Just something, because, like, that's 2 good franchises that are not being used in any way. And then they go all out for figures on Overwatch. So, like, that to me, yeah, I agree, was a missed opportunity.
I'm pretty sure like there was a big talk from Lego. Okay, we got Blizzard on board. What do we do? And they go probably they went over and over every IP. Like, okay, we have StarCraft. Well, cool, buildings and bases and very cool. But there's war in the back. You know, there's like a. But somebody said, okay, it's a space war. It's like Star Wars kind of, but still, there's blood from the Zerg. You know. I don't know, whatever it was, they didn't make it. Same for Warcraft. I don't know why. It's very medieval, very, fantasy. Could have been a great thing. And yet they probably went through all these things, and then this like last shelf in the very corner of the room was like Overwatch, this little thingy that's sitting in there, and like, oh, how about Overwatch? Checks out, let's do it. And I think that was the discussion, and it's a huge missed opportunity they didn't go for. The RTS games that made Blizzard what we know as, right? Because Blizzard was made because of the Diablo and their RTS games. I think it was a huge mistake to miss that.
Do you think...
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, do you think that the possibility of them not doing anything with World of Warcraft could have had something to do with Mega Bloks having the license?
Possibly.
Yes.
Quite possibly, yes. That's something, that should be mentioned, that Mega Bloks had the license for Warcraft and they were doing sets.
Personally, I think they missed the opportunity to do a Lost Vikings set. Nobody remembers that game.
No, you're old. No.
I just want Vikings. I don't know what that is, but if it's Vikings, I want it.
It's like an Easter egg from StarCraft.
It's like a video game. It was one of Blizzard's first games.
April, what were you going to say?
Oh, I was just going to say, do you think that things would have been different if there would have been the same 18-plus push that there is now back then when they got the Blizzard deal to have a Diablo or a World of Warcraft, whatever? Because I think those are probably more adult-played games than kids.
Totally.
I think Lego should define their understanding of depicting like fantasy war in their lineup. So things like, Overwatch are accepted, and yet things like Warcraft or StarCraft are not accepted. So we know this can be brought into the same denomination, kind of, but Lego somehow misses that opportunity. And I kind of want to see why they're not trying to explore that. There must be a reason they're not doing that. Is that because those RTS games are about, actual destruction and running a war with like an epic story behind it? Or is there something else? But, you can say like they made Castle, they made medieval times, but maybe because the Castle lineup of Lego wasn't really depicting a story or a lore written in other franchise like Warcraft and like Blizzard games did, right? So maybe that's the case. Like, you have Castle and you have Knights, but there is not really a story that everybody knows behind it that actually depicts the war, right?
Right. They're not slapping a title on it. They're not slapping like these are World of Warcraft sets, but like.
So I want to see like where Lego's, where Lego's point of no return is. Like, what do we do, what do we do not? Like, we don't know, we kind of are guessing as fans. So Overwatch made it. You can analyze, you can make a case study on Overwatch, trying to find out why they made it and why it actually didn't work out in the end, but like, why was this decision to make it while they had all those crazy popular themes on hand with Blizzard, right? So I don't want to know like why it happened the way it happened.
I don't think Lego knows where that line is either.
No. That's the problem. That's what I'm saying.
I think just make it up as they go along, and it's case by case basis.
Well, I mean,
go ahead, Flynn.
No, I'd say look at Stranger Things. Like
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
is. I mean, I have to say I was a little shocked, and that was actually. I mean, I was excited, but also really surprised, and that was before they really leaned in hard on the like Lego for adults,
Mm-hmm.
right? With like the new packaging and everything. And I found it like again, I was really excited because I love the show and I love scary stuff, but I just found it a very odd choice given some of their past choices and some of the stuff that they've said.
Well, I
But
mean, that's. Oh, sorry, Flynn. I thought you were done. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. And also it's whenever discussion about this subject of like war and fighting and Lego, and I know that like the company itself doesn't want to produce it, but I taught kids in classes with Lego, like they were allowed to like build things that they wanted, and I like, especially with the boys, war was the focus of 90% of what they made. Like whatever it was, there was always a war. Like there was always, and you can chalk it up to classic good versus evil or whatever, but there was always some kind of war, and there was always in every class at least one or two kids who you go, okay, we're building so and so thing today. We're building rockets, and their rocket has about 5 billion guns on it. Right? Like it's like, and this is the gun that does this, and this is the gun that does this, and this is the gun that does this. And I even had one student, and I actually had to rein him in a little bit. I mean, this kid was maybe 7 or 9, I don't remember at this point. But like I gave them their assignment, and he was like, he never wanted to do the assignment everybody else was doing, and I kind of like lived with it, right? And then I come back around, and kid has made, and I don't know guns, but kids made like a full-on machine gun with a tripod that holds it up, and I was like impressed in one way because I was like, wow, okay, and then in another way I had to be like, dude, like that's not, we can't. Like our company policy was like, we don't build weapons in class, and so it was but it's interesting, as much as we try to think we're shielding kids from things like that by not making Lego sets that glorify guns, and I'm totally behind that. Like I'm glad they're doing that. At the same time, it is so ingrained, at least in the US, it is so ingrained in the kids that it's almost impossible to separate.
Joseph has a nice question. Yeah, that's the exactly one I was looking at. Do you think Lego doesn't care about the realistic gun violence related IPs much because that's more of an USA interest? So I think you asked before about like how I think about it because I'm Polish. I'm not from the US. I just moved here a few years back. So back in Poland, when I was a kid, we used to like have guns from a branch and like carry it around and run against each other on a courtyard around school and just like da 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 da, you're dead. So in Poland, it was just like a part of, everybody wanted to be like a soldier or a superhero, whatever it was. So I grew up without that gun culture that's in the US. I'm just discovering how embedded it is in the US culture right now as I live here. It might be the case, but remember that Lego is not a US company. It has a big US branch, but technically Lego is European, is actually global more. So I don't think that has any effect on their global agenda when it comes to what sets are made, what are not. Maybe they look in the US somehow, saying like, okay, you should not maybe glorify any kind of violence in the US just because of problems that US is facing when it comes to gun violence, which is just true. Like it's not something you can sugarcoat. But I don't think that has major decisions on their global policy. I think it's just the way it is. They just try to be family-friendly company all the time, and the problem here is that their line of what is accepted, as I said before, and what is made is very blurry. Like we don't understand the people who are into Lego like us here in the panel. Are very into Lego, and we try to follow their policy, their agenda, but still we don't get it, what and why something gets made and something doesn't. But I don't think specific countries' agenda has anything to do with it, honestly.
No, I think that you see a very clear line in a way that any realistic war off the table, point blank. But everything else is a case-by-case basis.
Yes.
They made those Star Wars blasters look realistic enough for Star Wars that when they started making Star Wars stuff, there are probably people having the same discussion, not on internet forums, maybe locally, whatever, because the internet back then, but it was opening up a can even back then. Star Wars, wars in the title. So the
Mhm.
fact that they've even made blasters even more recently in like the 501st pack that look like a blaster, like a gun, who is to say you could put that on Mario? You could put that on anything. Like Lego has produced the mold. Yeah, it's not a FAMAS or an Uzi or whatever, but it's still a gun of some kind, and that's not. It doesn't matter. The fact that they made it in the first place for one line could be brought over to anything else. If they make Fortnite, just put those weapons on those guys. Boom, you're done. That's
Yeah, give them a different color because Fortnite has different colors for the guns.
Yep.
Yeah, I see exactly where you're going with it, and I agree fully. Like, what's the words are hard, and I don't know how to talk apparently, but like any realistic depiction of war is going to be poo-poo on everything. That's why Star Wars is a thing. You guys just said that, and I agree with you 1,000%. I'm also going to put something in the chat right now that I totally forgot existed, but it's a thing, and I couldn't find a piece. But like, it's such a stupid line that we have to walk and like have to make sure of, because the United States is a cesspool when it comes to gun violence, and that's always something on everybody's mind and everything that's going on. And like, for a fact that a toy company can't help with that distinguishing of fantasy and reality is just, I mean, what's the point anymore? Like when we were kids, we all knew that pew 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 wasn't actually killing somebody, and like now it's whatever.
And Overwatch and Fortnite are nowhere near close to it anyways. So like,
yeah, I know.
There are 5-year-olds that play Fortnite, so Fortnite's still on the table in my
Right,
opinion.
that's the thing. Like when you're you're building your cops and robbers set, or you're like whatever,
Right.
Nobody's thinking about the moral implications because it's good versus evil and everything else. But like, it's just stupid. I'm sorry, but you're not going to see Chase from Lego City series pull out a Lego Desert Eagle and blow away the bad guy and be like, "Justice is done." Like,
oh, good.
Of course you're not. Yeah. I mean, that's great. That's a good thing. It's
But can we talk for a second about how Lego City is just the most crime-ridden city that exists, and
Yes.
would be terrified to live there?
That's true.
There's so many police officer and why?
Every set is a robbery at some point.
There's a robbery or a
More you
fire.
can do.
Something like there's always fire. Something's always burning down. Something's always
Airplane-
being robbed.
Airplane police was a thing too. Like, we need airplane police. What's going on?
Doesn't seem like Lego City is a place I would like to live in. I mean,
No. There's like a police state that's on fire, and you're in trouble all the time.
Yeah, there's always something going down. Well, and like, my goodness, like in the Friends world, like how many sick animals are there?
Right?
Like, there's so many sick animals that need rescuing.
So, like, just imagine that, like, Dan needs some money from the New Zealand ATM to get out Monopoly's New Zealand money, and he's going down there to get it, and then a guy in a pickup truck and a forklift just comes out and rips the ATM out of the wall. That's an everyday thing in Lego City. So, like, I guess I'm not getting money out now.
Well, and also the number of hospitals compared to the number of crimes and injuries is
Right.
Ooh.
Well, what I really hope for is now with everything going on right now, you could see a lot more like hospitals and just like, more awareness for first responders and all that with, everything. And we've gone, and I get, listen, it sells. I understand why Lego makes 15,000 helicopters for no reason. I get it. But come on, let's get some farm. Let's get like more unique animal molds. Like when they had the woolly mammoth come out in the Arctic sets a couple of years ago, good stuff. Like the saber-toothed tiger. Let's get elephants back or giraffes or goats. Just new stuff.
It's too bad we don't have the woolly mammoth anymore, huh, Brian?
I'm sorry I traded it to a person at Lego, okay? I don't have it in the set. Sorry.
It's fine.
Yeah,
It's fine.
Related to your point earlier, and I might have said this I can't remember if I mentioned this on a stream before or not, but when you were talking about how there's so many sets that depict the ATM being robbed out of the bank. So there's a bank in Billund right next to Lego House, and there was a guy who hooked his truck up to the ATM and tried to pull it out, which is like half of the Lego police sets that have ever been made, and that exact thing happened at the bank that's located next to Lego House a few years back.
Well,
That's awesome.
Well, I also love how they soften it in some of the creator sets. So, like the detective agency had a whole like illegal cookie thing going on.
Yeah.
apparently. And then there was and I think in one of the newer sets, I'm not sure which one it is, but there's something with like candy theft or something. So they do try to soften it a little bit.
There
So
was
if you
also
want,
the money laundering, and like literally, like you could pass the money through the laundry machine in the one set.
yes,
That's not how you launder.
they're doing
don't
it
launder
wrong.
money.
You're laundering money wrong.
That's not what that. That's not what that. Never mind. Anyway,
Gentlemen, I'm just gonna
There you go.
say I have a meeting in like 5 minutes. Work from home stuff, you know. It's life goes on. So I shall say my goodbyes. Thank you for having me for a few moments, and keep the panel rolling. It's awesome. Love to hear you guys.
Absolutely.
Yep. See you later,
Bye,
Mike.
Mike.
Talk soon, guys. Thank you.
Have a good one. Don't forget about us since you're now best friends with Jane.
I'm now best friends with Jank. Yes, I should never. I gonna engrave it on my wall or something. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Dan,
So
what do you-
Flynn, how are you doing?
Oh, I was gonna kick it to Dan.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah.
Dan looks like he's gonna fall asleep. Dan, what do you want to see in Lego City?
I don't know. I'd have to just pass my uneducated ambassador opinion, probably.
There's some beef going on, ladies and gentlemen. Ding, ding, ding. It's Big Jeff versus the Big Dan from opposite sides of the globe, competing for the title of Lego Brand Ambassador.
Brian, if you call us Big Jeff and Big Dan again, we're gonna sit on you.
Oh,
Big egos and personality. Okay.
Is there anything- what's an element of New Zealand city life that they need to capture in the sets, Dan? That are they too focused on like Europe or America?
They got to do Lord of the Rings is his answer.
Well, they've already done that. So, look, I don't know what you guys. I don't know what to say. Actually, I don't know what your opinion of New Zealand is. Is we're not some backwater agency that still rides horses and
It's the
ties
Florida of
out,
the world.
ties up sheep outside the shop, running down the street, and walking down there in our flip flops and stuff. We're relatively advanced, you know.
Well, now you've ruined it for me.
I was gonna say I'm not visiting now.
I
Jeez.
know.
No, we have the internet and everything.
The magic
you know?
is gone.
I know. Now I have to return these flip flops. Jeez.
Yeah. Wow. I don't know. Look, to be fair, what I'd like to see, okay, if we had actually had a choice, a summer Christmas set, because for us in the southern hemisphere, you never ever see a summer Christmas set. They're always white and snowy, and it'd be nice to have a summer themed Christmas set for us.
So, what are the
Southern
icons of a
Hemispherians.
summer Christmas? Like, what would be included in that?
Beach, beach, barbecue, cricket,
Sun.
and the sun would be good.
Wait a second. Why is it cricket there? Like Jiminy Cricket? Like he's telling us the morals of story?
Oh,
or
here we go.
Cricket is a sport that you need hand-eye coordination for.
So Jeff, you're out. Is what he's saying.
Probably why they don't play it.
no,
in the States.
but cricket is
Jeff, we get the joke.
Not
we
to
get
a large portion of the
The
rest of the
joke was
world.
dead before you started saying it, Jeff.
No, that's fair. I understand completely. Yeah. Go ahead, Dan. Keep going. I'm sorry, man.
Like I said my piece, man.
There's so much tension. I love it. So, I'll
Am I
show
in
you-
trouble? Joshua, am I in trouble?
No, Jeff, you're fine. Let me show you. So
You're
Dan,
not Joshua. Shut up, Brian. Joshua, am I in trouble?
Go ahead, Brian.
Dan sent me a little kiwi. Well, it'd be kiwi. Look at that.
Oh, that's so
that's
cute.
cool.
That is cool.
And guess what, Jeff? You're not getting one because he hates you. So there we go.
No, that's fair. Yeah,
Oh no.
that's okay. I'm just saying. I got nothing.
This was printed by Rick, correct? Right?
Yep.
Yeah, there we go. I have number 34 of 100. Yeah, I got a between the bricks, a tile, torso, everything.
Very nice.
Fancy.
Beautiful rewind in the chat says $1.99 for snacks and drinks. Thank you. Appreciate the super chat.
I gotta send Brian a gift card. It's been a while. I've not been good at that.
Yeah, it has.
The last gift card Brian got was pretty epic, I gotta say.
Yeah, it was something.
I feel bad for you, Brian. I feel bad for you.
Yeah,
He put it on his phone, so he doesn't even have to show the girl, so it's whatever.
that's true. Let's see if there's any other Lego news that we can.
Yeah, we can take this opportunity to check in with David and see how the
Yeah.
Porsche build is
Oh, yeah.
going.
Oh, the details are coming through. There's a nice printed tile with the kind of
Ooh.
line taillight. This is a G body. I don't know how much you guys know about that, but that means it has the characteristic accordion bumpers. So they've done that nice with this little great piece here. And I'm working on the boxer motor. Going back to what you were saying about kind of a summer Christmas, how everything is depicted as snowy. I think my fiance feels very much the same way about just a lot of how Christmas is depicted. She's from South America, and I've been fortunate enough to celebrate Christmas there twice. And they'll do all the same stuff we do, give presents, and they'll even have a mock little Christmas tree. But it's just about being able to see kind of your reality depicted in a media such as Lego. I think even she would appreciate that very much. You could still have a Christmas tree, but people could be wearing summer attire and just to depict that in reality. I think a lot of people kind of in the Southern Hemisphere would really appreciate that, where the seasons are flipped.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a sizable portion of the world's population that live in areas where the seasons are different like that. So you would certainly think it would still sell well if they did something like that. It's not like they're targeting a super niche audience with that. But I was in Brazil. Let's see, it was towards the end of 2019. It was like the end of November, so the Christmas decorations were out. And I remember thinking it was the first time I had ever been anywhere close to Christmas time that it was warm, and it was so strange walking around and seeing Christmas decorations with how hot it was outside. So it's definitely a different experience.
Certainly, the first country I was ever in that wasn't the United States or Canada was Brazil, and it was a head trip being there, like leaving from O'Hare when O'Hare is like 20 degrees out, and then you land in Sao Paulo and it's 86 degrees, and you're still wearing your parka, and you're like, I'm going to die, right? And then the other way around, after having spent a couple weeks, in South America, where you're getting used to 86-degree weather, you're finally not sweating anymore, and then you fly back to O'Hare, and now it's negative 20 degrees, and you're like, I'm going to die, right? So.
Yeah. No, it felt good when I was there. I went to Brazil right after I'd been in Antarctica, so it was similar back and forth conditions like that. Went from the penguins to the beach in Rio.
Well, I love how he just casually drops that. Well, I was in Brazil after Antarctica.
Right, exactly. I
On
was
my private
with
jet.
the penguins with Jonathan, and it was a lovely, splendid time.
And we brought our snow speeder to put down there.
We went to Brazil to have a little bit of barbecue with the boys.
Was that a private trip to Antarctica, or did you go
It was
down
on
there
a
on
private
science
jet,
mission?
Daniel. Private jet from Indiana to Brazil.
Sorry, what was that, Dan? I'm sorry.
How did you manage to get down to Antarctica? Did you go on a private trip, or was it a science trip?
There's boat expeditions that leave from the southern tip of Argentina, and they're like ice. You can't see Brian's screen right now. It's Diet Coke.
Pinkies up, gentlemen. Pinkies up with the Diet Coke.
So yeah, there's expeditions that leave from Argentina, and it takes like 2 days to cross the water. And then you spend like 5 days going to shore, kind of on different spots in Antarctica, and then it's 2 days back. There are also trips where you can fly down, but that's not nearly as adventurous because you don't get seasick on the boat down there. So it's a lot more adventurous if you take the boat down. I enjoyed that. John did not enjoy that part as much. He struggled a little more.
Joshua, don't you have to be a scientist to go to Antarctica?
You do not, no.
Oh.
I feel like that's a trip I would really appreciate. Like
you have a deep passion for penguins, don't you, Brian? So I think you would appreciate that.
A deep, deep passion.
Look at that. Yes. If I had known at the time how into penguins you were, I would have brought you back something.
That's okay.
Like a penguin?
You, dude,
Some
if you brought a penguin back,
penguin food.
Just, here you go, Brian. Oh, Brian Saviano here, and I have a penguin. This is Quackers. I'm not sorry.
There are
you
also,
guys-
Dan, a lot of trips also leave from Australia to get to Antarctica as well. So it's like Argentina and Australia are the two most common places.
Christchurch.
When we get done with the stream, Joshua, I have stuff to ask you about South America that we can't talk about on stream.
So we have to
I don't
come to
think I
New
want to
Zealand.
answer those questions.
No, nothing like that. Nothing like that.
Dan,
Well,
I
friends,
do
as
need to make oh, sorry. Go ahead, Flynn. Sorry.
As exciting as this whirlwind travelogue has been, I must depart. So it was great hanging out. Got lots of laughs today, everybody. Thank you so much.
We'll talk WandaVision next week. Bye, Flynn.
Oh yes, that is a thing that will happen. Bye, everybody.
I'll include you in on fake Cuba trips next time, Flynn.
Sounds good. And it was lovely being on camera with April. We got to be even like right now next to each other, which is awesome.
Nice.
All right. Have a good one, everybody. Bye.
Later, Flynn.
I need
He's
to make
nice.
Yeah, he is. I need to make it to New Zealand at some point, Dan. The more that you keep talking about it, the more I feel compelled to visit for like a week and just exist. You know,
I've seen those big like earth balls that goes on in New Zealand where you get in the big ball and then you roll down the hill and it's like supposedly super fun. Like I want to do that at one point. That'd be awesome.
I don't think you have to go to New Zealand to do that.
Joshua, why don't you just pay attention to what you're doing and I'll pay attention to what I'm doing.
Wow, I can see why you like you so much now.
No, that's understandable. Yeah, I get that a lot.
what other things can you do in New Zealand besides rolling a ball, Dan? What?
Well, we've already learned they have internet, so I mean that opens up the possibilities.
Well, Dan's
Yeah.
actually taking a little rendezvous this week or weekend. Isn't that correct?
Yeah, I'm going back to Hobbiton this weekend.
That's awesome.
Look, New Zealand. To be fair, New Zealand is probably right up there as far as beautiful countries goes. Now, don't get me wrong; every country has its beauty, but New Zealand has a lot of unadulterated beauty. We have some of the best track walks in the world in New Zealand. You can go into the bush and nothing in there is going to kill you except either your own stupidity or the cold, one or the other. But we don't have mountain lions, we don't have bears, we don't have snakes, we don't even really have poisonous spiders. It's a pretty damn safe place to be. We have glaciers, we have mountains, we have rivers, lakes, coastline like you wouldn't believe, views for days, some of the best adventure tourism in the world. Obviously, we have Hobbiton and a lot of other Lord of the Rings themed stuff. And it's
Question
just
for
a
you.
pretty chilled, relaxed place to be. We don't have earthquakes every day that you feel, Jason,
Yeah.
in the chat.
Question for you so I know the country is obviously, relatively small. How long would it take to like drive from one end to the other? Can you like get around easily and like see a lot, or is it like a multi-day excursion? If you really, it is.
You're not going to do it in a day. So you could drive from top to bottom in 2 days, 3 days if you really wanted to.
Okay.
The downside of it is like there's this 4-hour boat ride in the middle between the North and the South Island. But you could do top of the North to the bottom of the North Island in a day.
Okay.
If it was a straight drive, I'm talking about as far as, just a straight drive. And you could do top of the South Island to the bottom of the South Island in a day. It'd probably take about 11, 12 hours in a straight drive. If you wanted to come to New Zealand for a decent visit and do a camper van tour or something like that, you'd want 2 weeks, I reckon.
Yeah.
2 weeks minimum. But I
If
think
we
you could do it quite well in 2 weeks.
If we show up in New Zealand, do you give private tours?
Absolutely. Of course. Even give you somewhere to stay.
Dan is very hospitable like that. He's a good guy.
I think that's just what we do. It's like So if we're going to name drop here, I had Jason Ellerman stay at my place when he was over in New Zealand.
There you go.
Jason and Crystal. So they came over to go to Christchurch Brick Show, and they were doing a camper van tour around the country. And when they were in the Wellington area, they just come and crashed at our place because I'd met them previously in Melbourne at Brickvention. And they come and crashed here for 3 days, and they just went and did their own thing when they wanted to. They came back for meals and showers and all that sort of stuff, and they slept in their camper van. We had room inside the house if they wanted to, but they wanted to stay in the camper. And we all went out to workshops together and took them up to a couple of other places where Rivendell was at and things like that. So, yeah,
That's
for sure.
awesome. That's
For
awesome.
sure.
I'm already
Always
like,
welcome.
I'm planning this trip in my mind where I go to New Zealand for 2 weeks and then do like 3 days in Antarctica or something.
Well, funnily enough, New Zealand is actually one of the jumping off points for Antarctica. So Christchurch is where all of the US flights down to Antarctica go. And when I was in the army a long time ago, we used to see all of the aircraft and stuff out at Christchurch Airport because a lot of the military people came and stayed out on our base. And they had all their massive C-1 Galaxies and stuff, and that was pretty impressive.
That's awesome.
Antarctic Centre in Christchurch as well for visitors. That's a pretty cool place to go and see.
Dan.
So yeah, it's a pretty mean place.
Dan.
Jeff.
Emily said I have to apologize because I was mean.
Jeff. No. I can take it.
I'm sorry, Brian. I'm sorry, Dan.
I'll just dish it
I didn't
back.
mean to.
That's
No,
all right.
that's fine.
You know why he Freudian slipped? Because he's used to apologizing to me for something stupid he said.
This is 100% true. I'm usually saying something, and then Brian is sliding into my DMs with pure anger and hatred.
No, look, don't take it too personally, man. I'll get you back at some point. It's okay.
That's fine.
Dan can take the heat.
Everything
Dan-
Dan just said is made up. He actually lives in Denmark.
That's fair. Dan, you and I need to
I
do
wish.
something one day together, and we need to call it Tons of Fun. That's all I'm
we
saying.
really should.
We really do. I'll send you a message or something. Brian, don't you dare hold in that laughter. You know it's funny.
Yeah, you do, Brian.
Jeff's
Come on,
funny. Jeff's funny.
anyway. I take the piss out of my size all the time. It's all good.
Yeah, I mean that's
cool with
that's like that comes with being a fat guy. We got to make fun of ourselves a little bit,
Yeah,
but then
that's
we
right.
get mad at people when they call us
Because
fat.
everybody else does, so we might as well too.
I mean, the thing about it is though, is that like when somebody else calls us fat, we're like, yeah, we've heard that one. If we want something original, damn it. If somebody's gonna make fun of us for our weight, it's got to be something new and fresh.
Oh, you're not wrong. Jeez.
Speaking of guys, Kirk, how's the build coming along?
Kirk's still here.
Oh my god.
I love you, Kirk.
I really tried. I really tried. I tried so hard. Oh god. Okay.
He's trying
Anyhow,
so hard.
the set's coming along well. I'm almost finished with it. Coming along on the last 2 pages here. It's a nice build. I can definitely say that. I might keep it together for some time and then eventually disassemble it for parts. But pretty good set. I can say I enjoy it much better than the 4 Plus, but that's to be expected. It's 4 Plus. So yeah.
Very. I would hope you're enjoying it more than the 4 Plus set.
Yeah, like if I was to say that I enjoyed the 4 Plus set more than this set, I think a lot of people would be shocked. But yeah.
Absolutely.
David,
So-
what's going on with the Porsche build?
I think I'm on bag 5 of 10, so I hope I'm not holding everyone up.
No,
but,
no, that's fine.
No,
So
we
you
haven't
don't necessarily have to finish it on stream.
We
So
haven't even-
I have the air-cooled engine in. There's a little Easter egg for that. I won't spoil for anyone, but they might appreciate it, or they might not if they don't like car sets. But then they probably wouldn't buy it. So we have our parking brake here. You know, if you want to do some nice handbrake turns, and you can just flip that up and get the back end out. Not hard to do since the engine's in the back. And then we have our 2 front seats and our 2+2, and you can see there was a nice sideways building technique used there. Probably for this auspicious company, nothing new, but I always appreciate it when I see it.
Can you take off the back, the curved, the bow off the back and show us?
The new piece, yes.
Yeah,
So,
thank you.
you know, let's see.
Dan, are you receiving this for review or no?
Me?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
It's a bummer.
I would have had it by now.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, this is the new piece here that they had to create to get the right angle on the rear fender. So
That looks like an awesome spaceship piece that will happen one day.
Yeah, definitely.
That looks like an awesome Batmobile piece, or just a car piece in general.
Oh yeah, because Batmobiles come in white, Brian.
You make the color black, Jeff. Obviously.
It'll come out in others, obviously. So while we're all triggered about talking about Fortnite sets that aren't coming, what do you guys think of the cancellation of the gift of purchase with this set?
Man, you should have had Mike bring that up while he was here. He made an entire 17-hour-long video of like, I can't believe this. I can't. I mean, I don't really.
Well, to be fair, I was actually trying to bring it up back then, but you guys were still talking about Fortnite.
Oh.
Well, welcome to the club, Dan. Because there's a lot of stuff that I like to talk about, and I don't get to talk about it because everyone else is just talking, and I'm too nice.
You have to interject.
Yeah.
You got to assert your dominance.
I try, but it's like it feels so wrong at the same time. When
You say, "Shut up, Brian," and then
It's really easy, Kirk. Watch. Shut up, Brian.
Okay, Jeff.
If the man in the pineapple shirt could be quiet, just say that and then say what you have to say.
Okay, I got it.
You could also raise your hand and then Brian will call on you.
Yeah, but then I feel like I'm in like kindergarten and,
Yeah,
and
you
like
are.
Oh boy.
I'm pissed that they got rid of the gift with purchase for the Porsche set too. Kirk, back to you in the studio.
I was just gonna say that I am kind of upset, even though I probably wasn't gonna get it. I still like the concept and the fact that they canceled it, especially for those in the U.S. and are kind of deciding just to do it for other countries, seems a bit.
Yeah, that's a weird thing. Why?
It seems extreme to me. If they used, from what I understand, the reason was transport or
the something with
along
the
those lines.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean-
if that's the case, then why not backdate it or buy your set and then it'll come when we get it, sort of thing. But to just outright cancel it and make it not a thing, I think that's a bit rough. It's like chucking the bait in the water and then taking it off the hook and throwing the hook back or something. I don't know.
So what we need to do is become friends with German Lego people, and then as soon as they all get their Porsches, we ship them some of the old Deutschmarks, and they give us the gift with purchase, and boom, bam, we're all set.
Well, you could do that with New Zealanders too if you didn't abuse them all the time, because I'm getting a gift with purchase, but you've screwed that one.
April's laughing. It's just like, yo.
See, I told you I'd get you back. It's all good, Jeff. It's all for the bants, mate. It's all for the bants.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't backdate it. Like, if it's a shipping issue to like just the US.
Yeah, I think it's ridiculous.
Okay,
It doesn't
so
make
is
sense
everybody
to
going to
me.
be so triggered when they put it up on the VIP shop in North America here in 6 months? And we have to buy them with our VIP points instead of with the Porsches we already bought?
I'm gonna buy it, so I don't care. Like, sure, as long as we get it, those things are awesome. I like that little stuff, and
They'll probably be cheaper via VIP points anyway. It'll probably only be like I don't know, what, $30 worth of VIP points? What would that be? 3,000?
No.
I'm not
a
good
lot
at
more than
math.
that. But
Is it? I
but
don't know.
still, though, if it was something that you would have gotten for free with buying a set, and then you bought the set, and then still have to use the VIP points that you probably accumulated from buying that set.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
David,
I think
had
it's a
you
bit rough.
seen the bonus gift with purchase stuff that they were offering but now are not available to Americans?
No, please elucidate me so I could
Brian,
feel bad.
Brian, can you share that on your
I'm taking
screen?
John's job now. Okay. No,
Yes.
it's fine.
I'm not sure where
Fine.
John always checks out after a little while. Dude,
So what were they offering along, or was that this Porsche would be free with some sort of purchase, or what was happening?
it was stuff they were offering for free when you bought the Porsche. So we'll pull it up here in a second.
Yeah,
I got it,
got
Joshua.
the wallet.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
So you got, oh, that's very nice. But I mean, and now it's not nice since we're not getting it. But I mean, I got this set for free, so I guess I'm not getting it either.
That's
so
nice.
Oh, that's very cool. And I feel bad for all the people who are being denied that. But I guess you were saying in New Zealand that you guys still are getting this?
Yes. we are
Everywhere but North
indeed.
America.
Oh.
Which seems a bit crazy because North America is such a huge market, and
Yeah, someone brought that up. The whole
I
market.
wonder
thing.
how many people will be turned off by that, not being able to get the GWP. So is it genuinely going to cost sales? And in the North American market, by percentage wise, there's got to be a way higher number of people that won't buy it because they're now not going to get the GWP compared to a little market like New Zealand or Australia for that matter.
So did they explain the reasoning? Was it that the PCA was not wanting people without actual Porsches to be able to get merchandise or heritage in the brand, or was it, what's the reasoning they provided?
The ship broke down; they couldn't get to America.
I can't
It's
tell if
sitting
you're
out
being
there somewhere on the
facetious.
ocean.
Well, they just claimed that it was freight issues or freight logistics or something along those lines.
You never know with Lego what's going on.
Brian,
No,
can
you
you hold
never-
on to
you
this
never
feed
really
for me
know.
for a minute?
Yeah, sure. Hold on.
There you go.
It actually just multiplied. That's crazy.
Oh,
Yeah, you gotta
Huh.
get better at that. Like me and Dan did that on the 24-hour stream. He passed me a cookie and it was flawless.
Well, we all can't be you, April. Okay.
Yeah, April.
Jeff, what did you just pull out random anything?
All right, Jeff. Relax.
if they're just Toy Fair exclusives from 2012,
That's enough.
don't worry
flavor
about
for
it.
Jeff.
There's only like 20 in here, so it's fine. Don't worry.
Oh, so I haven't showed off this on a stream. So this was from the great mind of the now retired Kevin Hinkle from the Lego community. Rest his soul.
R.I.P.
This is a Mario build.
Ooh.
Yeah, that thing is dope.
Yeah.
So this is from Super Mario World. This is Mario's running animation made out of all 1x1s, which was Kevin's way of making pixelated figures. I made a Pikachu and Slow King similar to this. And the thing that makes this super elusive is those flesh-colored pieces there. Joshua, do you know where you get those?
I do not.
You don't.
What?
All right, cool story, Brian.
You don't? So the dark flesh and the light flesh you don't get. So yeah.
Oh,
There they are.
What do you mean?
You don't get
Brian's just trying to flex right now.
Yeah. Really?
Just no one gets them.
here I'll raise him his flex with his silly colors with the Darth Revan.
The Darth Revan doesn't compare. Hello.
Is
Yeah,
that all glued, Brian?
To a-
No.
Are they all glued?
Nope.
No. Interesting.
All right, there we go.
I think I have an idea of where they might come from, but being an uneducated ambassador, I probably don't know.
Hey,
I
I'm not
mean-
an ambassador. I don't know.
I mean, you guys do live in a backwater with goats. and
Jeff,
sheep,
I
right?
really
Yeah.
We do with sheep, lots of sheep.
I really want to make you, Jeff, the ambassador for Beyond the Brick on the Land, just to see what you would go in there and say. And I think that would create like
I'm not an ambassador on Beyond the Brick on the Land. Where's my entry?
I want Jeff to go in there and just cause so much trouble.
Me? You want to cause trouble? You send me in with the bayonet and wreak havoc on these people.
Oh yeah. You know what would happen if you went in there, Brian?
Yeah, we
Bring me to Peach's Castle. Where is Peach's Castle? That I'll do it for you.
I
Yes,
want
no
Peach's
problem.
Castle and buy my coffee.
Yeah.
Hey, buy my Build-A-Figure that I'll skip you out on 3 parts for. Buy it.
Listen, okay.
There were only 2 parts missing in mine.
Oh, that must be nice. Did you get yours yet?
He
What's
didn't
that?
ask for him.
I didn't ask for them. I just had them in the collection. So
No,
I just
Jeff, I
grabbed them.
mailed you parts. Did you?
Yeah,
get
no. No, I did. I'm just giving you a hard time. That was part of the bit. Thanks for that. I told
send
you I
me
got
in-
the parts.
Send me into the Ambassador Network. I'll get you Princess Peach's Castle, Brickstar. I'm getting Monorail for you. Dan, I'm getting Lord of the Rings. I'm going into the vault. I'm dragging everything out. You send me in there. I'm locking
I don't
Lord.
think you
I'm
know
ready.
how it works, bro.
Yeah.
I know it is. Trust me.
That's not how that works, Brian.
Listen,
That's not how
I'm
it
the number one
works.
content creator in the galaxy in regards to Lego, and I don't even make Lego content. Okay.
So hey, have you guys ever thought about what your like alternate universe like YouTube channel would be? Like I was thinking about it the other day, and I was thinking maybe it's like after the cube, and it's like all about Mega Bloks and everything else, and it's like with Joshua Janlin and like Sryan Baviano and like Work Kilson or something. I don't know.
Isabel, I'll get you Bionicle too. I'll get everyone everything.
Is that just a Jangbricks ripoff?
Yes.
Brian's just the type of guy that thinks that because he's ambassador, he's going to possibly be made ambassador. It's just going to be like, go to Lego House, go to the vault. You know who I am? I'm Brian Saviano.
Yeah.
Look at this nice pass I have here. And the guy's just going to be like, that doesn't mean anything. You're not allowed in here. And if you try and steal it, you're going.
It's gonna be like the guy from Parks and Rec, where it's like, oh, I have a license for that. It's like what I want.
Then he'll try and butter him up with a bag of coffee.
And an exclusive Brian Saviano minifigure that sells for $75. Seriously.
All of my plans.
And then they'll be like, "Hey, did you print your logo on that minifigure? Are you ripping off our IP now?"
I'm sorry. What?
Oh,
I have a plane to catch, guys. It's been.
All right. Here's the Brian Saviano pillowcase with my picture on it and a random child. Here you go.
Okay.
You can take this.
Okay. That was
the Brian Saviano. The Brian Saviano undies on the way here or what?
I was hoping for a banana hammock, personally.
Okay. No, that would
Still
that would
waiting.
be
Still waiting for my Bricks O'Brien boxer shorts. My
that's a scandal. That's a big that's a scandal. No.
I want a banana hammock. I don't want boxer shorts. I want a banana hammock, and it's going to be great. With the little Build-A-Bob like right there at the front and center, so you know. Yep.
All right, listen, everybody make a wish list for what Lego themes you want brought back. I'm breaking into Denmark, the entire country of Denmark. I'm going to stow away on a ship. I'm going to say that I'm an ambassador, and they'll be like, "Oh, you're Brian Saviano. Of course you are." And then we'll take it from there.
you're an ambassador from America, and they're like, "Welcome."
The embargo has lifted.
The first video we ever made in the vault, like there's so many comments on it where everyone's just like planning a heist and how they would break in there and steal everything from the vault. It's very funny to read through them.
I think there's some bit to be made if like you go to the Lego house and you go into the vault and you're like, all right, we're gonna go to the room, and you're like, what room are you talking about? And then it's like the room where they're planning Bionicle for 2023, and then it's a whole big thing there. The whole
you know what we can do, Brian? So since you and I are capable and the funny ones, like Kirk sometimes, we go to Denmark under the Beyond the Brick guys, and then we bring ski masks and black suits, but we have like bad ski masks and everything else, and then we plot a heist in the Lego vault, and then they'll just let us on in because we're like, "Hey, we're with Beyond the Brick,"
right?
And then we do a bit of robbing the place.
Chima.
Right.
What was that about Chima?
The only thing we look at is Chima.
Yeah. This is why I'll never be employed by anyone ever, by the way.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Harley says, not even going to lie, I'm willing to pay $100 for the 50 out of 100 Bricks O'Brien minifigure. Slide into my DMs. Let's talk, Harley.
Oh, jeez.
What's your preferred messaging platform, Brian?
You can go to bricksobrien.com and go to the submission form. That is the easiest way. I get it right to my inbox, but yeah. LinkedIn, that's another good one.
April, what set would you want to see Brian steal out of the vault for yourself?
Let's make this a topic. Go ahead. What's Lord of the Rings?
I really don't even know. I have all the Lord of the Rings sets. I don't need them.
All right. Dan, what would you want Brian to steal for you?
Permanently borrow, I'd prefer the term.
Fair enough. Wealth redistribution engineer.
It's a good question. There's a lot of nice things.
Remember, they have like every set ever made, so there's some really unique, like quite old stuff. that is in there that is very cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to think about that. I'll come back to you on that one.
We'll circle back. Kirk, what about you?
That's a very good question that I don't know the answer to right now. I don't want to say something off of just like, oh, that's off the top of my head. That's something I have to think about. But I also don't want to think about it either because I don't want to encourage Brian to go stealing sets out of the vault.
Steal anything. I can't even get on a flight anywhere. I'm not stealing anything. In all seriousness, hey Lego, I love you. Okay, I'm not stealing anything. Where's
You don't
my
have
cap?
to. You don't have to tell them how much you love them to let you into the vault. They just let me walk in.
Hey Joshua, what set would you like Brian to steal for you from the vault?
I already took the set I wanted last time I was there.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
Fort Legorado, mint sealed. Just
prime condition, baby.
all right. So Dan, I'm going to circle back to you. You've had some time.
Jeff, turn off your Discord notifications.
It's not me.
It's not me either.
Kirk,
No, I don't have Discord notifications on.
David.
Brian finds out. I mean, Jeff finds out it is.
Let's see. Is it me?
It was me.
Yeah, it was Jeff, of course.
I've still never used Discord. I still don't really understand what it's for.
It's a chat pig. Never mind.
There's a couple of sets that spring to mind. One of them is that original Statue of Liberty model from 2000, whenever it was, so the original larger one. That's a really nice model. The original Eiffel Tower, the really big one, that'd be quite nice.
For sure. David, what about you? If Brian, who you just met today, could steal anything for you from the Lego Vault, what would you like him to steal for you?
So I took a very long break from Lego, and I think the theme that I really missed out on were kind of the Lord of the Rings themes. So I know some of you already have that, and that's not a very interesting answer probably to some of you, but it's an IP that I very much love, and I kind of wish that I had decided to spend money on it back then. I think I'd really appreciate, especially since, especially anything from the Two Towers, which is my favorite. So having like the Tower of Osgiliath or just the Rohirrim theme is an element that I really like. So that would be really cool to have in Lego form.
It's not really boring, sir. Those are some really neat Lego sets that came out from Lord of the Rings.
The Tower of Orthanc was an amazing build.
I really like the boat from Return of the King, like the boat that
Yeah, Pirate Ship Ambush. That was what brought me out of my Dark Age. Josh, do they have like a copy of every small thing that they've done for things like Comic-Con and stuff? Do you know? Do they keep all of that sort of stuff too?
That's like the one exception. So if it's like one-off show exclusives like that, they don't necessarily have it in there. Sometimes they might, but that's why they say they have like 99% of everything Lego's ever done, because there are like Comic-Con exclusives and that like super exclusive, like very small run type of stuff that they don't necessarily have in there.
What about polybags? Do they keep a copy of each polybag?
That's a good question.
That would be an insane number.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing piles of polybags in there, and so they might not put those in there. Those are probably so small that maybe they don't. Yeah, I don't remember seeing those in there at all. So yeah, they definitely don't have.
they're just in like this closet that they like open up the door real quick and throw it in.
They might have them somewhere else because they do have multiple archives, and the one vault that you see like videos from is the public one that people can go and you can touch the sets, which is a big point. Like so many times people will comment on our videos from there, why are you touching these sets? Like, oh, this is so precious, like you shouldn't do that. That's the whole point of that vault. Like designers go down there and touch those sets, and everybody that goes down there can look through them and everything and pick them up. So there's nothing wrong with that. They have other vaults that are more, what you might call like museum quality type of stuff that it's storage of sets for like keepsake purposes.
That's like the what's it called? The warehouse in Indiana Jones where it's like just rows. You see it.
Yes.
I think the set I would take would be I don't know the name of it, but I think there's some amount of beauty in not the Constitution ship, but like the big British ship. I don't know what it is. It's like a big, not pirate ship, but it's like a royal ship.
The Imperial ship.
That one.
That one is super cool. Yeah, that would be towards the top of my list to get. Yeah,
that one or the de facto classic space set everyone loves that like Benny's spaceship was based off of. Just to have it.
Galaxy Explorer.
Yeah, that one.
Here's
Awesome.
Joseph Sawada wants a Furby set.
Go back to work, okay?
There's supposedly a prototype in existence somewhere.
Well, this topic of Lord of the Rings stuff coming out of the vault, that is actually a topic we touched upon on your stream the other day, Dan, talking about Lord of the Rings and how you don't think it's coming back. There's a lot of negativity around what you don't think is going to happen. Like I think it's going to happen at some point. It'll come back in some way. But I want to know, and at least for everyone watching right here, because you and April are the two larger, the Lord of the Rings fans here. So what were your favorite sets? Why do you want them to come back?
Well, I want them to come back because there's just so much more scope for them to do. But I don't feel like they're going to come back because I know that the licensing even back then was an issue, and it's even more of an issue now. Like, there's major licensing issues even between Wingnut Films and Tolkien Estate. The Tolkien Estate have really screwed down on their licensing for stuff because they felt like they got screwed by the film company when the movies were being made. There was a lot of real controversy over that. So I don't even think that they would even bother, just from a licensing perspective.
That sucks.
Yeah, it does suck. If they did come back, a UCS style Minas Tirith would be on my
I'm surprised it
#1.
never happened.
So am I.
Mm-hmm.
April, what do you want to see?
I'd say a bigger Rivendell set. They did like a Council of Elrond, like little teeny tiny thing, but it doesn't do it justice, especially with all the nice like muted leaf elements and stuff.
Yeah. Some Village of Bree would be nice, but I feel like you could almost convert the blacksmith to be a Bree village building because it's pretty
100%.
similar.
Yeah.
How many years did those sets run for? Because they released a fair amount of sets, right? So it wasn't like it wasn't super short lived.
5 years, I think. But let the pros answer that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I think it was about that long. But I think there was a gap in the middle between the Lord of the Rings sets and then the Hobbit sets.
Yeah, there was.
Okay.
But Hobbit sets were nowhere near as long run as the Lord of the Rings sets.
Oh, it's popular.
That's one thing like in the stores here in the States, we got like preview sets of like the Hobbit. Like they released all of the Hobbit sets at once. They're like, here's this, here's that, and then like we got the barrels, we got the two dwarves in the trees fighting the spiders, which was one of my favorite sets, and like some other stuff. And then eventually they let out the other sets that came along with the other movies. It was really strange.
Well, a big issue with it was because they were like, oh, we're going to make this 3 movies instead of 2. So like a part of the first wave was that barrel set, even though that was in the second movie and it didn't come out for like another year or something. So it was all sorts of messed up.
Yeah. Okay.
And then the hardest one, I think, or the most messed up one, ended up being the Lonely Mountain. The one with Smorg in it, and I think everybody was really looking forward to that set, and for some strange reason here in New Zealand it was very, very limited,
which is ironic because that's where it's filmed. Like
yeah I ended up having to buy that set from the States because I ordered it here online because it went into the shops. The shop that I normally buy from got 3 copies of it. One person came in and bought all 3. So I ordered it online from basically our version of Amazon. And they had them in stock, but they never shipped, and they ran out of stock. So I don't know what the hell happened there. So I ended up having to buy it third party from the States. It cost me a bloody fortune to get it shipped out here.
That sucks, man. I'm sorry.
It's all good. It's not your fault.
Is it?
It
Maybe-
might have been
maybe it was.
actually. You know, you might have been the one that bought it from, but you know.
The Hobbit movies, did they not end up doing well, like box office wise? I know people weren't necessarily like the biggest fans of them. I don't know how they ended up doing overall though.
I'm biased. I want to say they did okay, but I
Yeah.
don't actually know.
I
They
think they
didn't-
did well financially, but they were not nearly as beloved as Lord of the Rings at all.
Right.
They didn't do as well box office wise, but they're still up there.
Right.
So I never seen Lord of the Rings when I watched the Hobbit movies, and so I thought they were good. I enjoyed them, but I think everyone obviously who's already seen Lord of the Rings compared it to that and didn't enjoy it nearly as much.
I
I
don't know
think
about
The
that.
Hobbit was a little bit more light-hearted than Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings was very serious and very, full on down its storyline. Whereas The Hobbit, I think they had a little bit more fun with The Hobbit. I
Mhm.
think they had a better financial backing behind them. They knew what they were getting into. Obviously, there was all of that sort of controversy in the beginning with Guillermo del Toro directing, not directing, directing, not directing, and then Peter Jackson ended up directing, and that sort of thing. And that was that split between the 2 movies and then to the 3 movies and all sorts of stuff. So I think they were just a little bit more light-hearted, and I think you've got your hardcore Lord of the Rings fans that felt that The Hobbit should have been just as serious. And then I think you have your Hobbit fans that sort of get sick of the Lord of the Rings because it's too hardcore. So I don't think it was quite as balanced as it could have been, but I love them nonetheless.
Yeah, it makes sense to me. I never thought about it like that before, Dan, and that actually makes a whole lot of sense. Like, it had a weird mix of like lightheartedness, and then the last 2 Hobbit movies were not so much there. It was like the tone and direction shifted dramatically. So yeah.
I think for better or for worse, and this is not necessarily a critique on the film, but I think there's probably a subset of people who really appreciated the practical effects. Obviously, there was some CGI in the original trilogy, but when you look at the Uruk-hai, when you look at the orcs, there's this beautiful use of makeup and costuming, and obviously there's some of that in The Hobbit too. But in The Hobbit, I think they leaned very heavily into the CGI because of the goblins and other type of characters. And obviously, when you're depicting the Battle of the 5 Armies, you need to be able to depict that scope. But because that's more difficult to do with practical effects, you're left with something that feels maybe a little more video gamey. And if you're willing to accept that, if you're willing to accept this is the medium I need to use to depict this, then you're like, hey, this is great because I'm seeing a story I love on film. If you're looking to recreate the magic of the original films, you're going to lose that.
Yeah,
Totally.
I think the other thing too with The Hobbit was there was a couple of storyline departures from the book. So the Tariel storyline, Tariel didn't exist in the book.
But
Bolg, I'm not sure whether Bolg existed in the book or whether that was another departure from the storyline as well.
Yeah, I don't think Bolg was in it. It was made up.
Yeah.
Didn't they also shoot the Hobbit movies at like a weird frame rate or something? That
Yeah.
I remember a lot hearing people complain that it was like unwatchable because of or it looked. I think David mentioned almost like a video game in some ways.
Yeah, so cinematic features are often filmed in 24 frames per second because it matches kind of what your eyes are used to. And I think maybe they were going for 60 frames per second. I don't remember exactly,
Yeah,
but it makes
60
motion
frames.
extremely fluid. And while in a video game, you appreciate that because you want to capture as much detail and information. When you're watching a film, it removes a lot of the cinematic quality, things like motion blur, and then you're left kind of unable to accept that information.
Yeah, you just process it as being artificial.
Yeah.
You don't process it as being real information, even though it's live action shoot. At 60 frames, it looks artificial because of that reason, exactly that reason. It's just not there. Although I think, April, you watched it in 4K recently. Did that make any difference?
No, not really. And to go even further with that, like I didn't see a whole lot of difference visually with The Hobbit in 4K, but what they did with Lord of the Rings, even though it looks beautiful, there are some things in it that look a lot more like CGI emphasized, if that makes sense. Like it doesn't look like its original self. It looks like, they've run it through and overprocessed it.
Is it kind of like when they remastered the original trilogy, or is it just a different type of processing?
When they did the HD remaster or whatever on Lord of the Rings.
Oh, well, I was saying, I remember when they did. I mean, I guess they've done it 2 or 3 times now, but when they did the original kind of remastering of a lot of Spielberg works, like the original trilogy of Star Wars, right? And then I think for that was just a lot of CGI implemented on top of things. Is it that, or is it just that the overall effect, like kind of from a scene standpoint, feels different?
It looks like the more Star Warsy like things have been added in as well, but just the overall feel is it wasn't the same. It looks great, but I've watched the original trilogy probably over 100 times, so I'm very sensitive to those things that maybe some people aren't going to pick up on.
Just to check in with you, Kirk. How's the final verdict on the set?
All right. So, like I said, I like the set a lot. It reminds me a lot of the Into the Spider-Verse. I got like the layer and everything. Like it reminds me of that. So I guess that's what they were really trying to just go for. The figure selection, I definitely can say that I like that a lot. So you get Iron Spider. You get, I can't remember what they actually call it on the box, but this suit is pretty much from the game, from Spider-Man PS4. They just say Ultimate Spider-Man, but so that's like the one with the sort of like green tone and the black suit. Then you have Venom in there, a new Green Goblin, which looks a bit. I wish I could get a bit closer, but accessing the camera is a bit difficult. Now the thing with the Spider-Man figure, the actual suit, they gave him arm printing now, which is nice. My only issue with it is I always feel like when it comes to the Spider-Man figures, they always leave something out. So it's like they'll make an improvement and then they take away one thing. It's like just include the other things you had before. Once you do that, it'll be much better. So I'm probably just going to go ahead and give it the legs. It's like how you have the when they first started the Spider-Man, I think it was when they first started the Spider-Man wave, like the newer sets, and they would have the dual molded legs. I think that's something that they could add there. It would complete the figure like much more than this. This one kind of feels like, and for a second, I actually mistook it for like the older Spider-Man figure that they were making when it was just under like Marvel superheroes, like those sets. But then I looked a bit closer and I'm like, okay, wait, the emblem is a bit different. And then the eyes are a bit different as well. So it is a different Spider-Man, just minus the dual molded legs. And you also have the Peter Parker figure with what I'm assuming what they were going for was the homemade suit from Homecoming, but it doesn't look all the way there. It's just like a bit more, I guess. I guess they changed it a bit, just changed it a bit more. Then you have the 3 displays over there for the suits, a stand for the motorcycle, and then this like large display screen over there with different like stickers and stuff on there.
Did you notice one of those displays looks right out of the Spider-Man PS4 game?
Yeah. And I think that was something that was mentioned in someone's video about like how they mentioned something with PlayStation. The one thing I was like looking forward to in the build was I was curious, like, did they actually make a model of it? Because in the images, there wasn't anything, I guess, visible to see, like, if they actually included PlayStation. But I think it's just them throwing the name there. So I don't know what's the deal with that. Like, what exactly they're going for there with including the PlayStation name. But other than that, I think it's a good set. I think a lot of like younger kids, of course, that's like what these sets are more directed towards. So like you have the play features of like throwing the basketball into the hoop with the catapult, the skate ramp and everything like that. So it definitely works for that. For me, it's one of those sets where I would like keep it together for some time, have it on display possibly, and then most likely like disassemble it if anything.
There we go.
Yeah.
Very nice.
That's your in-depth review. Glad you could put the sets together.
Yeah.
How is that Spider-Man game on the? Is it the PS4 or PS5?
Both, technically.
Both?
They're great.
Okay.
They are great. What were you working on this whole time, Joshua?
I guess I've never. Yeah. So I pulled out this. This set arrived recently. Let's see here.
Oh, cool.
There we go. I thought I so rarely do Technic building. I thought I'd do the rescue hovercraft here because it's a smaller set. So I'm very close to done. I just have like 10 pieces left.
Very nice.
It's a neat little set. It's got some moving mechanics.
Cool. I know because me and April won the various categories on the video awards that I will be building at some point the entirety of Wave 1. So that'll be cool. I'll probably do that on a quarantine cast. I don't know when that'll arrive, but it'll arrive. That'll be cool.
Look forward to that. Jeff, what do you have there?
Just the Miles Morales mech suit that I picked up a couple days ago.
Oh, in regards to Spider-Man, that actually reminds me because I looked at the wedding. It has the neon blue thing or translucent blue. For the set, I didn't open it, but it gives you the same web pieces, but they made them like a trans clear color instead, which I think is a nice touch because like when you think of the webs, you don't like. I get like they were doing at the time, like just molding them in white to I guess make it stand out a bit more. I mean, they still even have that with these over here, but for this it makes more sense because it's like Spider-Man's webs aren't white; they have a translucent thing to it. I mean, like a real spider web. So I think that's a nice touch. Yeah, add it there.
There's a question in chat. Does this float? It does not. The box says model does not float, not for use in water. But you can give it a shot and see what happens.
I do gotta say the Miles Morales that came with the mech, he was pretty awesome. Like, I like him. I like that there's a little Spidey symbol on the back. I like this hood piece that I'll use with a character at one point. Anyway, neat. That's all.
Yeah, it's a pretty good figure.
Awesome.
Brian's just sitting over there waiting for Peach's castle.
As always, you know, now that we have a lot of the March stuff, so you know, video was March 1st. I think that's everything that we know of. We'll see if anything else pops up. I wish I knew any information. I know nothing, but we gotta wait till June, man. At the very earliest. We'll see.
Yeah. Oh, I found out why. This has nothing to do with. Yeah, it does actually. So I found out why Lego released mechs with popular characters like Thor and Captain America and Yashmata. Apparently, Marvel did a comic series recently about it, so that's why we're getting them.
Cool.
Yeah, I guess I got nothing. I'm sorry.
Sure. No, that's fine.
All I had was a bit of about Cuba. And
it is all good.
Just finished this here. Let's see if I can. I'll pull up the build cam. There we go. So the fans on the back kind of turn. It's like a hovercraft.
That's neat.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to build.
This is the size, the biggest Technic size build I can handle. Any bigger than this, too complicated for me.
Yeah. Well, also you didn't have the problem of building a Technic set on camera, where if you made one mistake, you're like, well, I guess I'm doing all of this all over again. So there's that.
It's very true. Well,
didn't you and Boone have that issue like a few years ago where you tried to build the Lambo or the Porsche? I can't remember, man.
I built the Ferrari a long time ago with Mike Psyche, and I messed up like a quarter of the build and realized like as we were chatting with him that I was gonna have to sit there and take it all apart in front of him on the stream, so that wasn't good.
Technic. When you're not frustrated enough.
Yeah, there's a reason I don't do much Technic building.
Yeah.
Well, David, I think you might have to finish that the Porsche off stream, unfortunately, but you can give us one last look before we head out here.
Yeah.
Your mic is
No problem. I'm sorry to everyone. I'm so slow. I have the front bumper assembled again. Little accordion on the
There you
accordion bumper there. Special feature of the G body. I have the rack and pinion steering in. You can see the suggestion of the disc brakes, and you see the steering column, and then there we go. Look at that. We have some steering going on. I guess it's not a true rack and pinion, but generally it has the same effect. So very neat. I'm enjoying it very much. I probably don't have as much building experience, especially since I don't really do mocks. But so for me, the novelty of a lot of the building techniques is still there. I'm really enjoying it, and buy one if you are inclined to do so.
And if you're outside of the U.S., send your gift with purchase to us.
Yeah.
What are some of the? Are there any like one or two building techniques that stood out to you there? Anything that struck you as like kind of cool as you've put that together?
I like how they accomplished the steering. There's some pieces. Again, I've been outside of the world of Lego for a bit, and I think they introduced steering with the Mustang model, which I don't have. So how they accomplish kind of these ball joints here, I've never seen these pieces. A lot of these Technic pieces, when I come across them, I go, "Wow, I've never seen that before." Because in my previous Lego building experience, that wasn't really a thing. And so I think it's a neat functionality to have kind of that dynamic feature in the model. Again, the seats, how they were this weird sideways build that clipped in here, and it gives it the actual kind of tilt forward if you want to access the back seats. I really like that. So it's hidden behind all these bricks right now, but kind of the structure that they used to create the angle here, which I'm sure that this will be something will latch into here, kind of leading up to the engine bay. I thought that was very interesting how it all connected, and then how they used, I'm spoiling the build for you right now, but how they used this piece here then to lock it in. I thought that was very clever. And then I love that you can just pop the engine out. It's not held in with bricks, it's just a pressure fit. And so it's just a neat little feature. And so that's what I'm enjoying so far. I'm sure there'll be many more things to enjoy as I keep putting this thing together.
I'm sure as well. Red Brick Redemption says David is legit. We need to see him on BTB more. So maybe we'll have you back for some more car builds at some point. It sounds like you know what you're talking about, at least to me, but I don't know anything.
I will say 4 years of mechanical engineering, and then 5 years of additional mechanical engineering, and I went to grad school. And then just being in love with cars since I could see, you become passionate about it, you study about it, and then, you get to sometimes buy yourself a car that you really like, or just have opportunities to work on them. So if there's anything you're interested in, you find the people who are always willing to share, and you build your knowledge base from there. And so if you too have an interest in cars, just, with your parents, maybe go talk to your neighbors who have that equipment, and just keep learning.
What a professional. I love it.
Look at how impressed Brian is. He's like, man.
Me in my business suit and attire.
That's right. Yeah, David. No, I'm glad you're enjoying the car so much. It'll be neat to see the finished photos when you're done, and how you can display it.
Oh, I will keep bombing you with photos. Don't worry.
Sounds good. Well, I think that's gonna wrap it up for us today. Let's see, April. Do you want to tell people real quick where they can find you online if they want to check out your stuff?
Yeah, you can find me at twitch.tv/AprilB. I'll actually be doing a live demo of Vidiyo here in an hour and a half.
There you go. Jeff is on LinkedIn, so that's the only place you can find him. Yeah, besides that, pretty much out of luck. He posts Spider-Man mech photos on LinkedIn, and no one knows why.
You can also follow me on Instagram if you want to, and I have a little channel, but Don't go there.
If you could go there. Dan, how about you?
You could if you want.
I think. See, Dan and Vision know what they're doing. They have their screen names on screen.
Uh-huh.
Pro streamer. Yeah, put it on there. Well, I have to because I can't just put Dan BTB because then people just get confused. And we've had this conversation.
And then we'd have to sue you again, and it just gets messy.
It's like, what? When did this clown become part of the team? So I stream on Twitch as well, twitch.tv/Between the Bricks. YouTube, I do the occasional video. Instagram, all those good things.
Your podcast that you do on YouTube with your other panelists are awesome, by the way.
Thank you very much. Well, we do a 1 hour podcast. It's a Friday night for the US, Saturday afternoon for New Zealand. If anyone wants to come on there and talk some Lego sometimes stuff with us, by all means, hit me up. You're more than welcome. I also do a stream on a Monday on YouTube. Again, open invitation to Lego friends. So if you're ever free on a Monday afternoon, your time. No, Sunday evening, your time.
No, it's Sunday evening.
I think it is. You're all more than welcome.
It gets confusing, but no, people should check it out. Lots of good streaming content out there.
Mm-hmm.
Vision is creating music videos all day and all night in his studio there, so we can look forward to more content from him on that sit.
No. My days of making any sort of dance content are over. I did it in the past.
Lego or otherwise.
Just yeah. Mm-mm.
So
I had a
video's
weird
not even
phase.
enough to bring you out of retirement?
No, not enough. Yeah, unfortunately. Minifigures are cool though, but yeah. But other than that, what I mainly do on my channel are mocks for the most part, and then occasionally a stream or two. I actually am going to be working on a mock across or over this week or whatever. I had a really good idea that I think is going to work out a lot. So
Is it Predator 2?
No, not yet, Jeff. Unfortunately, not. Soon, at some point, I will do it. It's actually not licensed. It's actually just a concept that I'm working on. So.
Great, fantastic.
Brian, where can people buy coffee?
BricksO'Brien.com. Tomorrow, Nintendo is announcing 50 minutes worth of new hotness. No matter what it is, you can join me for my reactions to it along with everybody else in the chat. Twitch.tv/BricksO'Brien. That's the latest thing I'm going to be doing. Very excited. 5 p.m. EST. I'm hoping for some Legend of Zelda news. Maybe who else? Man, you never know. 35th anniversary of Zelda is this year. So here's hoping we get some hotness,
I'm waiting for those Breath of the Wild sets still. That'd be great. I think we'll get some. Mini Brick Productions, late breaking news. Lego Fortnite confirmed in the video trailer.
Speaking of Mini Brick, before we end, actually, he just achieved 10K supporters on the Polar Express set. So congratulations.
Grass is green, the sky is blue.
Yeah.
Go figure. It's amazing. His talent is shining bright as always.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
That's
Not only
right.
is there a Fortnite Llama, that Llama has been signed to Universal's music group as LLAMA. When does this new single drop, April?
The 19th.
19th. Man, get on it.
Mark your calendar.
LLAMA.
We need a lot more color flipping from you, Brian, in the future.
We can talk. Your people can talk to my people.
Okay. Well, I think that will wrap it up for us. So thank you, everyone, for chatting in the chat. Thank you, everyone who joined us in the stream. David, I hope you enjoyed your first Beyond the Brick stream. It was good to have you here.
It was a very magical moment. I have to tilt my camera here so that my little face shows up in this box. It was a fantastic time, and I had a lot of fun.
Awesome.
There we go. Sounds good. We'll see everyone later.